got to play Hallam 3 times this year. Sadly, I've been out for Varsity now, but I got to play in the last 2 games, and it was the best experience in the world to run onto the field knowing that you're representing your uni against the biggest rival game you're probably in the country.
So guys, just for the first half, Aidan, any predictions first half? How do you think it's going to go the first quarter, the second quarter?
I think University, they have to stay in it because obviously you look back at the last fixture, Hallam won 75-12, so that'll still be fresh in their minds. That was only in February, so it was about 5 or 6 weeks ago. So that'll still be in the memory. I think try and keep it close until half-time. That sort of happened last year as well. We saw in the game when it was, 13-10. They keep it close. They had chances last year as well, so if they can do that and get into half-time, maybe within a touchdown, I think it'll be really interesting to see how Hallam sort of deal with that pressure of being in a close game, because they haven't been in a lot of close games really this season.
I mean, on the first play of last year's Varsity, it was actually an interception. If there's an interception on the first play, can you see kind of the momentum swing and say if Uniov get the interception, you think they can start on the right foot, you think they can kind of build on that? Yeah,
you'd like to think so. You'd like to think the crowd behind us as well would get into it a bit, because if you can get the home team up, then it's going to make their day a lot more difficult. And I think in this game, I think we're kind of expecting Hallam are going to have a pretty good day. But if you can get any little advantages, you've got to just see how they react to the pressure. It's probably the most high-pressure game of their season, even though they've been to a semi-final last week. This is the game that they'll want to win. And if you can see what happens when you get them into a close game, I think it'll be a really interesting one.
So, bringing it right kind of wider to our audience, Max, for the people who don't really understand American football, could you explain the rules for us?
So very simply, there are 4 quarters. If you take it into account to rugby or anything like that, you're battling for yardage and everything. So there are 4 downs. Downs are these plays so intermittent plays, individual plays, and people in those 4 downs are trying to get 10 yards to then reset the downage and then get another 4 downs to potentially get another 10 yards. It's very complicated to initially begin with, and coming from a rugby/football background, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. A lot of stopping and starting. But initially the aim is to get from one end of the field to the other and score as many points as possible. 6 points for a touchdown and 1 for a conversion, difference to rugby obviously, with 5 points for a try and 2 points for conversion. But there are also funny little things you can do throughout the game, so hopefully our commentators will try to keep you up to date on anything that seems a little bit confusing or a little bit daunting to any of our audience, but it should be a good game and there's a lot to like about it.
Nice. So any kind of high points for you, for Uniov this year? I know it's been quite a struggling season for them, but any high points you can take into this game?
I think just generally the way the team is stuck together and the way the team is a unit, and it's so well bonded. I mean, at the players' meeting last night, we were kind of all sat down. It was fantastic to see the kind of friendship, the team camaraderie, the team chemistry between these guys. Some of these guys, this will be the last time that they are wearing the black and gold jerseys and 5-6 year playing career. So it's going to be an emotional day for some players, but the way we've all stuck together, and even through the hardships of all the losses, if we can come out to the end today, it's going to be a fantastic result and a fantastic day.
How are the team feeling? Any quotes or any comments from last night?
Weirdly optimistic. I call it weirdly considering the run of results we have had. But I live with 2 of the guys, Bruno Shatton and Reece Waller, and they're both looking forward to today. And their smiles on their faces come down this morning. They're looking forward to it, and it should be an exhilarating day.
Nice. So, Aidan, you've been involved in Varsity coverage throughout the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
How does this kind of
getting tired with it.
How does this event kind of match up to all the other events like the boxing, EIS Day?
I think there's something nice about this, because we always seem to get beautiful weather for Varsity when we come to American football.
Great weather.
And we always get beautiful weather. I don't. It looks all right at the moment, so I'm going to stick with it. But it's always a nice day. It's one of the big events outdoors, which is quite nice, and people can come outside and have a nice day, which I like about it. And it maybe doesn't get the enclosed atmosphere of something like the boxing or the ice hockey, but the atmosphere in here is pretty good, and there's a lot of loud music as well, which I don't understand because I don't get pop music. But
yeah, I think
there is a lot of loud music.
I think we're about to have some when the teams run out onto the field, which will be quite a lot of fun.
It's one of the kind of the staples of American football. At the Super Bowl, both teams run out to kind of the mascots and the songs. It's a really nice atmosphere, and American football's really taken off in England now. It's a really good thing for events like this, where there's a big crowd who are actually kind of understanding it more. Do you feel that American football can gain more popularity?
I think it certainly can, and I think we're getting close to having a franchise in the NFL. If you look at the wider picture, I think we're only probably 4 or 5 years away from that. Obviously, we're getting.
I mean, some mention have been made of 2019 and 2022.
We're pretty close. We've obviously got 3 or 4 games I think this year in London. You've got the new Tottenham Stadium, which has been designed not only for Tottenham's playing there, but for American football games. It's been purposefully designed so you can wheel a pitch in for American football. So it's being thought about more and more. I think we're pretty close, and I think with that and the popularity popularity we're seeing now, obviously, is growing from that. And to think, 5 or 6 years ago, it was one game and it seemed a bit of a novelty. Yeah. We're really getting into it now, and that's really nice to see.
Yeah, sellout crowds at Wembley every single year for all the games. I mean, I think all the tickets have been sold now. You can't even get a ticket.
This
for
guy's
this year.
got tickets. The Ravens, the Jaguars.
Oh,
So I can't wait.
I'm jealous. Yeah. No, but here we go. The teams are on the field.
This is no music yet, but I mean,
not exactly the hyped entrance.
Yeah,
we expecting.
We can't build it up. No music, which is quite a sad moment.
It means we can still hear us, though.
Yes,
it's fine.
It's nice, so we don't have anyone running past the camera. So, as I was saying, if there's kind of like a big turnover in the first play, what do Uni of need to do to kind of get the advantage over Hallam? They need a turnover on the first play if they don't win the toss?
If they don't win the toss, you've just got to try and get the ball, and you've got to try and score, I think, on your first drive. I think that's crucial in any game of American football. Score on your first drive, that's really good. We were also talking off air, I'm going to whisper this because Hallam players are walking past us, but we're saying if we do win the toss, there's a thought that we might try an onside kick, just again to surprise this.
I've made a cheeky little prediction, and I wouldn't place any money on it.
Sky bet taking bets on it or not.
Knowing what our coaches are like, if we win or lose the toss and decide to kick off, either way we look, I think we may look to do a little onside kick just to get the ball back, just to put the crowd on our side, because the crowd are on our back right now. I mean, if you look at where we are, Hallam are away from the crowd with the Union by the side
today.
So it should be a fantastic game, and hopefully, if we get the ball early on and start moving the ball down the field, getting inside the field goal range. I mean, our kicker Rowan Huggins was hitting 40-yard buckets at the start. So I mean, I think we're looking to have a good, fun game all around, and even if it comes out with a result that us three don't really want, I think it's going to be a great day, and the weather's definitely shining down.
We do hope it's as close as last year. Just for the people at home, explain what an onside kick is.
So an onside kick is a kickoff is what happens at the start of a game, similar to rugby or anything like that, except you set up on the 35-yard line and you effectively kick the ball to the opposition and give the opposition ball. Try to kick it as far down. Then you've got a group of players that run down and try to tackle this person with the ball to pin them back inside the opposition half. An onside kick is the reverse of this, where the kicking team tries to kick the ball only 10 yards and then tries to recover that ball, so the defending team or the receiving team who would get the ball doesn't recover it, and that means effectively it's a cheeky little play where you can try to steal the ball off an opposition and hopefully swing the momentum in your favour.
So as you see, the teams are actually warming up. The music has started, so we actually have music now, guys, which is a great
It's still pop
thing.
music, I'm not surprised. I'm still scared by it.
So Max, as you were saying last year that you were involved in this game, any kind of standout highlights from last year's games that really stick in your mind?
Definitely the last play. I think Aidan, you commented on it, and it's one of those things that is forever going to be enshrined in the memory of, was it a touchdown or not? And just to describe it to people, Union are driving the ball down the field. It's the last play of the game. This is everything or nothing. Jacob Hardy, the quarterback, throws the ball up into the air. Beautiful catch by receiver Ola, who fortunately has left the team. He's now left university, so he won't be playing in the game today. But touchdown, players coming across his face. He dives at the goal line, and the referee calls it celebration, so unfortunately it's a penalty. It goes back. Very controversial. I can't really put my comment.
Don't keep neutral here.
But no, it was very controversial. But the decision happened, and that's what it is. And unfortunately, Uni of Sheffield have to come back and bounce from that and go use, if there's any anger or anything like that from last year, put it forward instead and just go, right, we're going to make the result different.
I mean, Aidan, as a commentator, as a spectator's point of view of that, how did you feel about that? Did you feel that? What was that moment like?
Angered. I would say probably the answer for it. But it was quite a controversial game, because I think there was 2 touchdowns actually in the game that were disallowed for the Union. So if both of them get given by the referees, different referees on a different day give them, you've got a completely different game, and you've won by plenty of points. So it sort of stuck in the memory for a bit. It was a disappointment that it didn't go our way. But today, different game. You might get that bit of luck that you didn't get last year, and then that might give you the win.
But as with any sport across the country and across the world, I mean, referees decide the game, and you've just got to accept the decision. So it is what it is, but hopefully Union can bounce back today.
I mean, in American football, a big kind of thing about American football is that they have actually video replays. I mean, we can't really have video replays in Goodwin.
We're not there yet.
But hopefully in 10 years.
We'll all come back and do it again.
Another big reason why Union of Sheffield actually struggled this season is because they've had kind of a depleted roster due to graduation. There's a lot of rookies out on that field today. How will they be feeling for this event? And do you feel that this is vital experience in maybe they can use in maybe another couple of years to come actually beat Hallam.
Yeah.
We're not saying they're going to lose today, but I mean more experience where they can actually have a good season. Let's say.
I don't have the starters in front of me now, but I know from this season that a lot of rookies and a lot of guys have kind of come along and been shepherded and given the playing time to kind of develop them. We've got some really nice guys developing. Sam Turner and Danny Hare are two that come to mind right now.
What positions are they?
Both at cornerbacks, so both have been given some playing time. Both have done very well at different points. Had things to work on, but they've shown potential. So hopefully we'll see some.
What does the cornerback do in a?
So
cornerback
ball? Covers a receiver. Receiver is the ones that come to the ball. And excuse the noise in the background.
You can hear Hallam.
That is Hallam celebrating starting off. It looks like Uni of Sheffield are also going down to the players'
We're a
entrance
couple of minutes away from the game starting, but back to you, Max.
So, cornerback is one that covers a wide receiver. Wide receiver is a person that looks to go down the field and catch the ball from the quarterback. So it's about covering it and stopping them effectively catching the ball, stopping people getting down the field effectively.
So any other rookies you might think?
Alex Garcia has been a standout player throughout the entire year. He's plays a middle linebacker for University of Sheffield. He's a guy that come in. He's played before. Ironically, he watched a Marshall Limp tape in 2011 and actually got into the sport and has been a fantastic player. It's a big addition to our team this year after losing Tom Mills through to graduation last year. So he's definitely one of the standout players on defence.
Nice. Going back to injuries, there's been a lot of injuries to the O-line, the offensive line for Uni of Sheffield. How important is the O-line to the team?
It's critical. I mean, it's the biggest part of the team, and you kind of have if you look at the NFL and everything like that, Dallas Cowboys, they've got one of the best O-lines in the NFL.
And a great running back as well.
Yeah. If you have a good O-line, you can have a good QB, you can have a good running back, you can protect yourself. It's everything to an offense. And at the same time, a good D-line is just as critical to get through an O-line.
Nice. So Hallam's about to run out here. So we are going to
run out again.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
So Aidan, you're going to get your wish. You're going to get pop music. So the O-linemen that were injured last year were Mo Baghdadi and James Wood, the offensive tackle and the centre. But also James Wedge was injured. How crucial is a quarterback, and how much of a kind of a... You can hear Hallam really getting pumped to this game. But as I was saying, James Wedge injured last year. How crucial is the quarterback to the team? He's basically the team. But I mean, losing a quarterback is a big deal.
Arguably, a quarterback is the keystone to any team. So I mean, I won't say this is why Hallam or Uni of have done badly this year, but a quarterback is the keystone. It's the person that works the magic, that does everything you want, and it's just such an important and pivotal point. I mean, I'm sure, Aidan, you can agree with me.
Yeah, I think if you've got a good quarterback, that sort of runs your whole offense, and it gives you someone. It also, like on your O-line, it gives you someone to believe in almost, someone to protect. So it works for all the offense. And that you also get used to, if they're a quarterback that's been playing for a while, you get used to their style. Each quarterback has a different style.
The running backs especially get used to the handoff, etc.
Yeah.
But it's especially important with the O-line. You mentioned it there. I think O-line have the mentality in the minds. If I believe in this guy and I want to fight for him on the field, and I'll put my body on the line for him. I'll put my body on the line in this play or that play, regardless, and I'll fight for this guy through tooth and nail just to make sure that he stays upright and he can deliver that ball to receiver.
So James Wedge has been described as a pocket passer and has excellent mobility. How crucial is mobility to a quarterback? Because we've got quarterbacks like Cam Newton, and Aaron Rodgers, who's excellent outside the pocket. How crucial is that mobility to a quarterback?
I think you're starting to see it more and more. Gone are the days where you could just stand in the pocket and pass.
Like a Ben Roethlisberger
you've
type
got to be able to move. And someone like Aaron Rodgers, who you say is the great example of that, because he's so athletic as well, so he can get out of the pocket. And it can gain you basically 3 yards. Because if you're just expecting a pass, it sort of makes the defensive mind up to hold. Whereas if they might run forward, gain a few yards, then it sort of puts that second doubt, especially to people like the safeties. Do I go back and mark my man? Do I go forward? So I think something like that is interesting to see, and it's good that you've got someone with mobility.
Just to explain for the people at home, what does out of the pocket mean?
So basically, you'll have your offensive line, and you'll stand in just behind your offensive line. There's sort of this is like a protective zone that the defense will look to protect, and then you look to find your wide receivers out to the left and to the right. So you'll, in theory, have more time to pass the ball. Whereas if you're coming out of the pocket, you're moving around, you're moving to the right and the left, so you're not staying in between the middle of the pitch, and you're looking for different options, and perhaps can even gain yards with the run.
Yeah. So we talked a bit about the offense, and actually Hallam are finally about to run out, so you might see us running behind us.
It's not even pop music.
It's not, no. They're really getting pumped
thing.
as Hallam run out here. Great thing to see. really pumps up the atmosphere as well, doesn't it?
Sorry, I missed that. I couldn't hear.
Really pumps up the atmosphere, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I actually couldn't. That's how loud it is.
If the crowd really see this, they'll get pumped as well. And I think the crowd is just here to support the university. Varsity is as much as the athletes as if the crowd. I mean, this atmosphere here, definitely great for the crowd.
Yeah, and the crowd love to get involved in Varsity. That's one of the best things about Varsity is all the chants and the fun that the crowd have, and you see that. Like I said earlier, you don't perhaps get it as much here where you've not got an enclosed arena, but they'll still have a good go at making a good atmosphere, and I'm sure they'll be able to do it.
Nice. Yeah. So we talked a bit about the offense today, the defense. Max, what type of defensive plays will Unioff be looking to use, and what formations will you looking to use today?
I think it's going to completely depend on what Hallam come out with. And sorry if my voice is a little bit elevated. I'm trying to talk about the music, but no, it's completely depend on what Hallam are going to do. If they want to run the ball a bit more, we're probably going to run a little more enclosed cover one kind of system to lock down the receivers and try to ensure that the running back doesn't get much yardage up the middle. But also then it's just kind of important to try to lock down the big players on the outside. I mean, they've got some monster receivers, so it's important going man coverage them, making sure that they don't get too big plays.
And cover one and man coverage, the terms
cover
mean?
One, definitely. Yeah, cover one is man coverage. So man coverage basically means, for anybody out there who doesn't know, going up one-on-one with the receiver, so you're left on your own. We call it an island, so you're effectively trying to protect the person, not protect, but defend the person on your own, on an island, just anywhere he goes on the pitch, you follow. So you're effectively just trying to do the best cover you can against one person.
And there's other plays like cover 2, cover 3 that defenses can use. Could you explain a bit about them?
Yeah, cover 2, cover 3, I won't go into too much detail, but it's effectively zone coverage. And zone coverage means a defender will drop into a zone, and anybody that comes into that zone which is considered a threat, he may go towards him or look. But anybody, if a QB looks his way, he's got to be vigilant for anybody that's coming. I think we're getting Unioff out on the field right now.
You can hear the crowd screaming a bit. There's the flag. Max, you're really getting into there.
Yeah, no, I'm really missing that I'm not out there last year. Luckily I did, and you caught it, guys, quite well. I jumped over the cameraman last year, so I actually quite enjoyed that. But no, it's a brilliant atmosphere, and to be part of that right now, they're going to get into the Bleed Black and Gold anthem. I mean, that's what you live and you play for.
Aidan, do you think this game can really raise popularity for American football? Because I'm going to guess some of the crowd won't really have experienced American football before. Do you think this can really raise popularity and get them into the sport?
Yeah, I hope so, and obviously some of our viewers might have seen it as well, so it'll be an interesting game to watch. I think this is a good game to watch as well, because you'll start to understand, our commentators will take you through some of the things that are happening that you perhaps wouldn't get if you watch an NFL game and they say all these technical terms like we've been discussing here, and you wouldn't understand them. Here we'll get to understand explaining them for you. I think this will be a good game to watch as well, and obviously if you're a University of Sheffield fan, you can get behind someone as well. Perhaps if you don't have a team in America, this is your team now.
Yeah. Get behind the players. I mean, you're going to see raw passion out on the field today. You're going to see guys playing for their university. I mean, this is the last game for some of the guys, so they're going to put everything else on the line to win and to hopefully go home with a trophy.
A lot of guys actually play for the Sheffield Giants, so they've actually got experience outside university. Can you explain what the Sheffield Giants are, Max? If you have
Sheffield Giants is basically a team in Sheffield, ironically, that is kind of a combination of anybody who wants to play. So whether it's from Unioff or Hallam, or even whether it's a little more senior guys, they go along to that, and it's a really good team. It's one of the best teams, actually, I think, in the Northern Conference, and they kind of all come together in one team together. It's kind of got that good team spirit. So even though we may describe it here as kind of one side versus another, kind of maroon versus black and gold, they're all a team in that one unit, and they all fight for each other on the field. So a lot of these guys know each other.
That kind of brotherhood in an American football team is quite important, because if you're with an O-lineman, if you can really get a bond with the O-lineman, that means that your plays me better. Just a bit more on your experience of Varsity. How do you prepare for a game like this?
So effectively preparing for it, there's a lot of tape and watching that goes in. You've got to effectively try to decipher what the opposition are going to be doing and kind of break it down so you can best deal with that and best exploit the team's weaknesses. But a lot of it is down to mentality, you to get on the field, get down to practice, be in the gym, be vigilant, know what your job is on the field. If you don't know, make sure you find out what you're doing. And if you're on the field, know which plays you're doing, know where you're covering, know who you're covering, know where to look. There's a lot that goes into it. I mean, it seems a little bit confusing when people are watching it, but there's a exceptionally tactical element to American football that will really come into play today. And which team kind of gets the upper hand and kind of exploits the other's weaknesses, it'll be interesting.
Probably the worst thing for a student as well, you can't go to the pub.
Yeah,
you're playing in this.
I think any varsity sport. I heard the rugby team didn't go to the pub for 2 weeks before their varsity game.
It's too long, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the team's had a drinking ban, so nobody's gone out this week. So it's just everyone's clear. But I think everyone's kind of hankering for a drink today, and a couple of the people have said the bar at half-time will be tempting.
Yeah. So the kickoffs have been decided there. We'll give you news on that right as we get it. But Aidan, for people at home, if they wanted to get involved in American football, how can they get involved in American football?
I think the best thing to do is, if you're not in Sheffield, find your local club. But if you are in Sheffield, go along to a training session with the Sabers, because obviously it's quite an open team, I think you will agree, and like anyone can join. You see here a lot of rookies in the team. You see a lot of rookies in the team, and they've come in this year, so it's not hard to get to a level like this, and there's top coaching in this team as well. It's not hard to get to a level where you could conceivably in 12 months' time be on this pitch playing in this game.
So Max, explain your experience of like getting into the Sabers. How did that all kind of materialise?
So I got in basically. I joined, or a friend got me into American football in 2014, and it kind of just got me over. But I think I'm just getting the signal from one of the producers. Yes. We may be switching over to one of the
kickoff is about to happen. Let's put it over to our commentary team, Josh Minchin and Jamie Blakeman. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you, guys. I'm Jamie Blakeman, joined here pitchside by Josh Minchin, and seconds away from kickoff. How are you feeling about this one?
Yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be a really exciting game. It's a beautiful day here at Goodwin, and two teams that look well up for it, so it should be an interesting match.
Yeah, it's an absolutely fantastic day. The sun's glaring off that 3G pitch here at Goodwin, so it's going to be interesting to see if that's going to make any kind of point in the game. I'm struggling to see across the pitch at the moment, and the players might be doing the same.
Yeah, I mean, this surface is always going to throw up some difficulties, even just the sheer hits when you hit the ground. It's not the softest surface to play on, so I think you're right, Jimmy. I think it is going to impact on the game quite a lot.
But yeah, getting back to that game, it's going to be the Hallam Warriors in their maroon and black strip who will be kicking off to the Sheffield Sabers in their all-black strip, black helmets, black jerseys with a hint of gold, of course, and it's going to be interesting to see how they do with this. I think we've been talking about a couple of players in the camp about how this game's going to go. Maybe the Warriors are on top, but you'd certainly say that with the records as well. But here we go as this kickoff comes, and the Warriors get the game underway. And it's going to be a squib kick, and it's just going to dribble out of touch, and there's a flag on the play for that. And we're probably going to go all the way back. So probably not the start that the Warriors wanted, was it?
No, not a fantastic kick to start with, but I mean, there's been quite a delay in kickoff, and it must impact on your psyche as a player to get your adrenaline pumping, and then straight away you have to go back to your warm-up for another half an hour. So we might see a slow start.
Yeah, no, of course, we had the issue. Once again, it's the boxing all over again. We've had to wait for the medics. It's delayed the game, but we're now underway finally. And it's probably what the crowd want, because I think they started off quite good. It's died down quite a bit, mainly due to that delay, but now we've got some action.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully they'll be in full voice as the game goes on.
And it looks like we're going to be taking the kick again. Yeah. Which a little bit surprising, but that's what Sabers have maybe elected for. So Hallam Warriors will be getting the game underway once again. Let's see if it's better than the first option as they kick the ball downfield. It's much better. It's well flighted, and it's going to be a good catch by number 87 for Sabers. He's shown on goal. He's got a good 10 yards there, and he's got some yards after contact, and that's all. There was maybe signs of a possible fumble in there, and I think it was a fumble, but Sabers have recovered.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like a very good return to start with, but there was a hint of a fumble. But if they've recovered it, which I think they have, a good return to start with from the Sabers, that'll put the nerves at ease, perhaps.
Yeah, no, definitely. So we're playing on a slightly shortened pitch here. It's only 80 yards. There is no 50-yard line, so each team has a 10, 20 and 30. They share the 40, and we start here on about the 25-yard line for the Sabers. So it's 25 sounds like they've penned back in, but they're really not far from halfway, are they?
No, not at all. If they can make a good play here and gain a few extra yards, they'll be looking to build a good drive.
Yeah, and it's that unusual formation that we've been talking about earlier, but it's a pass play to start, and it's a completion down to number 87 for Sabers. He's getting all the way down, and he's going to get in, or is he just stopped short? I can't see the officials, and it is a touchdown. The Sabers have scored straight away here at Varsity 2017.
A rapid start from the Sabers. We did say if they could just get a good pass out, if they had some good field position, and it's an excellent catch and a great run, and the Warriors really just couldn't catch him. Both safeties quite a way away.
Yeah, it's just been announced here in the stadium. It's a 60-yard touchdown. Absolutely fantastic start for the Sheffield Sabers. They go 6-0 up here, and we'll see what they do with the point after touchdown. I was saying to you earlier before we started that we don't see a lot of kicks at PATs here. So yeah, it does look like they're going to go for a 2-point conversion, and why not after that 60-yarder?
Yeah, I mean, you'd expect to exploit maybe some mistakes in the defence again. Here they go.
And they're going to run it in far left, and the 2 points is good. So it's Sheffield Sabers 8. It's Hallam Warriors 0 in the opening couple of minutes here at Varsity 2017. We're live here from Goodwin on Forge Radio and Forge TV. And I think we've got to keep highlighting just how wonderful a day it is. It's so hot, and it's only March.
Yeah, it's a fantastic day, and what a quick start by the Sabers. I must admit, I didn't expect that. And as we were saying, the delayed kickoff perhaps maybe impacted the Warriors a bit. Well, the Sabers have come raring out of the traps, and that's an excellent start, just what they needed. They're facing a Hallam team which are really in form, and that will give them great confidence as the game goes on. Yeah,
and it's number 87, Mark Price. It's a name that we said a lot in those opening couple of minutes, the tight end, and he's been highlighted as a key weapon in the Sabres' offensive arsenal. He's definitely shown that early on here, and as we await the kickoff from the Sabres, they'll get the game back underway, and here we go. So it will be Huggins to kick us off for the Sabres. A long formation, ready to chase this ball down. It's just a slight delay here on the kickoff, and here we go. Sabres getting us back underway, 8-0 the lead. It's a very good kick. It's gone high and quite far, but it will be a touchback to the Warriors. Will start on the 20.
Yeah, I mean, the tight ends on both sides are traditionally the best athletes on the American football side. They can tuck in as linebackers, but also play as receivers, as the Sabres used there. And yeah, I mean, you see the athleticism. He storms to the end zone.
Yeah, no, absolutely fantastic start. And if that's slightly odd for people that are slightly familiar with American football, they'll maybe used to be saying the wide receivers out wide, a tight end tucked in. Everyone starts bunched in that Sabres formation, don't they?
Yeah, I think they're exploiting a double wing formation, which is quite difficult for us commentating because there's no real formation and there's no clue as to who's going to receive the ball. But it's clearly worked for them today.
Yeah, and it definitely worked. We couldn't figure out what the play was going to be, and neither could the Warriors, and the Sabres capitalised on that. And it's a errant snap. It's gone loose, and it will be a fumble. It will be recovered by the Warriors, but they're going to lose a lot of yardage here. They started the touchback on the 25. They're probably down below their 20 now, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, that's not what they needed at all. I mean, after you concede a touchdown like that, you really need to respond well, start to build a drive, get your offensive team on. They've not started well. I just said they're the 3-yard line. That's a lot of ground to make up.
Yeah, so that's a massive loss. So second and incredibly long here at Varsity 2017. It's the Steel Bowl on Forge Radio and Forge TV, and Warriors are in trouble here, penned back on their 3-yard line. The Sabres are going to be rushing this, no doubt, but will Warriors be able to capitalise on that? We're weighing on this snap here. A lot of communication. It's snapped cleanly this time to the quarterback, number 7, Hallam, who's going to run out of his pocket. He's going to get a good load of yards here, and he's going to make it out of bounds. And will it be a first down? No, there's a flag on the play, so we're going to have to see what's happened here.
Yeah, it looks to be a good run by the Hallam quarterback. Not much on. Takes himself out of the pocket, out of the danger zone, and gets some valuable yards. You really don't want to be penned in facing a pass rush that close to your end zone. You really don't.
Yeah, no, he's done well there, but we're just going to have to wait to see what the flag on the play is. It's hard to tell. We've got the Hallam benches blocking our view from our commentary position. Obviously, so many of them, but it was a very good run from the Hallam QB there. Hopefully getting them out of danger. They're hoping getting them back into this game. 8-0 down early on, and we'll just wait for the officials to confer. And it's a personal foul. Late hit going out of bounds, so they're going to get half the distance to the goal here. And that was a foul against Hallam, actually. I thought it was going to be a late hit going out of bounds on Sabers.
But yeah, so perhaps not as good ground coverage as we thought. So they've been pinned back again, and the Sabres will get another chance to blitz this Hallam offence. Yeah,
so repeating the second down, it's half distance to goal, which doesn't really make much of a difference when you're only 3 yards from that goal line, but they'll have to go again. All that good work done by the QB has been erased from the history books. Still second down and very long here for the Warriors. Very early in this first quarter. I'm Jamie Blakeman, joined by Josh Minchin here, pitch side at Goodwin Sports Centre as we await this second snap, and it's away cleanly again, and it's good to pass it out to Hallam's number 11, and he's beaten one man and he's gotten away, and he might have the whole length of the pitch here. He's at the 20, there's a tackle, but he's not been stopped. He's at the 10, he's going to get all the way in, and it's a touchdown. Hallam Warriors, it's now Sheffield Sabers 8, Hallam Warriors 6, and just like that, the game's changed again.
What a return. I mean, he's made probably, 70 yards there? Fantastic return. Perhaps just the Sabres be unhappy with their safeties. There's some poor challenges, if we're honest. when you've got such an athletic figure running at you, you've really got to make sure you ground him, and they didn't. And he managed to stay on his feet, get through to the end zone, and just like that, they're back in the game. Fantastic.
Yeah, so that will go down as a long passing touchdown, but the QB hardly did anything. He started basically behind his own line of scrimmage, and he did all that work himself, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he picks out his wide receiver. Well played to him there. But I mean, all the work is done with all the legwork's done by the wide receiver. He makes a lot of ground, and
the Hallam Warriors have gone for the kick. And it is good, so it's just a 1-point conversion there. So Sheffield Sabers 8, Hallam Warriors 7 after completing that point after touchdown conversion. Maybe interesting not to try and level it up. Maybe they're not so confident on that 2-point return.
Yeah, perhaps. I perhaps might have been tempted to go for the two-point conversion there. There's clearly weak points in the defence if you can run a 70-yard return to score a touchdown. But yeah, they've got themselves right back into the game, and I think the Sabres would be unhappy with that.
Yeah, obviously they did quite well to stop the Warriors back down in their own half for just a first down gain. The personal foul meant that they reset and they had to repeat second down, and that was a penalty against the Warriors. So for Sabres to then give up a touchdown on that own penalty play, really disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure the defensive coordinator will be pulling his hair out with that display. Not fantastic at all.
So it's going to be the Warriors that get us back underway here with another kickoff. As the kicker runs up to it, he's kicked it. It stayed quite low this time, but it's a good fielding by number 87, and we're back in play. It's a fake. It's a trick me as the Sabres have it down the right side. Number 19, he's going again, and this could be another touchdown for the Sabres. And he is in. My God, what a game we have here at Goodwin. The Sabres score their second touchdown off their second possession.
It's all actually here at Goodwin, and it's another amazing return. Again, another perhaps 50-yard return. The fake pass, again, we were fooled by it, so the Warriors must have been too. And he's sprinted down the wing all the way through to the end zone, and it's just action after action. And it'll be interesting to see what they go for here, the Sabres. Will they just try and kick for the one, or are they going to go for two again?
Yeah, so
it looks like it might be two.
Yeah, it might be. So the score now after that second touchdown in so many possessions for the Sabres, it's 14-7 in favour of the Sabres with a conversion to come. Will they go one or two here? It looks like it's going to be another 2-point conversion. So let's see if they can get 2 sets of 8 and take the score up to 16. Blockbuster of a start here at Goodwin. Really can't say that enough. It's been a fantastic start as everyone goes in motion. Ball is snapped and it's gotten all messed up there, and there's a sack, so there'll be no conversion, and the score will stay at Sabres 14, Hallam 7. But fantastic start here, isn't it?
Yeah, fantastic. Just a great pass rush there by the Hallam defence. They get out early, beat the offensive line, and they get to the quarterback and deny the Sabres that 2-point conversion. But I mean, they've responded fantastically. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what the Warriors do here. We saw them respond very quickly after their last conceded touchdown, so it'd be interesting to see what they do here. But we hope the game doesn't slow up, but I'd imagine it will do soon. We can't have touchdown after touchdown.
Oh, I'm going to struggle with my mental maths if that continues. But yeah, it was all from that great little trick play. It was well fielded deep in Sabres' own half. Little scissors move. I thought it stayed with the original receiver, but it was a great little handoff, wasn't it? And it tricked everyone. Yeah,
I mean, the Warriors looked to go the way that we thought they were going, to the left, and then just down the right wing all the way through, and we'll see how good the kick is here.
Yeah, so Sabres will get us back underway here. Another kickoff after so many scores, but here we go. Sabres back underway. It's another squib kick. Hallam field it cleanly, and they're going to try and return only about 2 or 3 yards there. It's a good tackle by Sabres, and that's going to what they want to try and set up this defensive output now, isn't it?
Yeah, Charlie Taylor gets in there, being strong, fells his man, and they'll start around the 40-yard line.
Yeah, the 40-yard line, which is the halfway line here on this shortened pitch, only the 80 yards here. So we'll try and keep reminding you that. Don't get surprised when we say the 40-yard line and people will very quickly move into the other half. The 40-yard line is the halfway line here on this Goodwin AstroTurf pitch. But it's going to be Hallam to try and see what they can do with this offensive set. They did so well last time, despite the early trouble, going 2 and long twice after a penalty reset, and then getting that long touchdown, even longer than Sabres' 60-yarder. But it's going to be Hallam here under centre now. QB number 7 is far back out, and he's got the snap now. He's fielded it cleanly. It's going to be a short pass. It's a screen pass. Has it worked? Not really. The Hallam receivers managed to shrug off his defender, but it's well done after that, and the Sabres smother him, and it's a 5-yard gainer. It didn't look like that much from our position, I don't think, but they'll take that 5 yards.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you start on the 40-yard line, as we said, that is the halfway line. you're in a really good position to build a drive, and the yardage hasn't really counted for much today already. We've seen 2 amazing returns, but traditionally in American football, you look to gain sort of 5 yards at a time, build slowly, look to get those first downs, and we'll see what Chisholm does here. It was a good pass to start with last time.
So it's snaps underway. He's looking for a pass. He's found his receiver straight through the middle, over the top, and that will be a first down for the Warriors. It's the first down for anyone of the day. But you normally say that at a 0-0 after a couple of possessions. We find ourselves Sabers 14, Warriors 7, and the Warriors have moved into the Sabers first half here, haven't they?
Yeah, I think we're going to see a bit more sort of, if you like, normal play, building those first downs, driving down the field, but we could see a touchdown soon. They're quite deep inside the Sabres half here.
Yeah, Ronald Thomas for Hallam Warriors there with the reception, did very well over the centre. It's another snap by Hallam. It's a good feed to the running back, and he's got a couple, maybe 3 or 4 yards here. It's just straight through the middle. Again, it's been listed as 5 yards here. I think the stadium announcer's being a little bit generous maybe on some of this yardage.
I agree. I don't think he made 5 yards there, but it is tricky to see. We've got some yardage markers in front of us, but it is very hard to make out exactly the yardage when we can give a rough estimate. Second down, so they're not too far away from another first down.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see that they did turn to the run game there after some very good passing play. They need to keep the Sabres defence honest and hit them with the run occasionally as they get underway here. It's 2nd and 5. It's another completion, but it's a very good hit by Sabres number 55, and he stopped him for minimal gain there. So it's going to be 3rd and short for Hallam Warriors, looking for that. Again, another first down. They're just shy of the Sabres 20 yards line, just trying to get into the red zone at the moment.
Yeah, Reece Waller tracks his man well there. Big hit. We heard it from the sideline here. And stops his man in his tracks. But that was looking dangerous for the Sabres. But they've dealt with the Warriors' offence so far in this drive.
Yeah, so we're looking at 3rd and about 2 yards, if I can find the first down marker. It's not very well lit here. It's in the sun, but it's another great pass, and it's an interception tipped into Sabres' hands. Number 18 for Sheffield Sabres is returning, and he's going to get smothered here on his own 18-yard line, but a very good little 10-yard return there. Warriors looked like they'd had a really good completion for a good 15-20 yards, tipped into the hands of the Sabres, and it's Sabres ball all over again.
Yeah, I was about to say what a pass from the quarterback, and it looked a good pass. His receiver just fails to hold on to it, and it's a great pick. The safety in a good position, good field position, picks the ball up, and 10-yard return, and they're back with the ball. They've turned what looked to be a quite ominous position into offence, and that's what the Sabres are going to have to do today. Hallam are in good form. They're going to have to take every chance they can to push them back if they're going to win this Steel Bowl contest.
Yeah, it looked like Hallam might well have been in there, but yeah, that tip pass has just changed the complexion of this game. Sabres starting just inside their own 20-yard line. It's that bunch formation again, and it's gone back out to number 24, the running back, but it's going to get all tied up, maybe a single yard of gain. Maybe no gain on that play. So it's going to be 2nd and 10 or 9 yards for Sheffield Sabres. Of course, if you're new to American football, the teams have 4 chances to get 10 yards. Those chances are called downs. So the Sabres managed to get 1 yard there on their 1st and 10. That results in 2nd down and 9 yards. Maybe not what they wanted, but it's the first slow play for Sabres in possession of the ball, isn't
Indeed. It didn't actually look a clean pick there from the running back. It looked like he fumbled it a bit, but he managed to hold on instead of fumbling the ball.
So it's going to be Sabres 2nd and long. Number 10, Hardy, drops back, and it's kind of going end over end. It's not the cleanest of passes, but no pick there. It's incomplete pass. The first one we've seen today, incomplete. And I've just realised it's not number 10, Hardy. That's my nostalgia of Varsity years gone past. Number 10 is James Wedge at quarterback. Hardy's now a QB coach, which is great to see. He's still part of the organisation.
Indeed, he carries on his affiliation with the Sabres. As our stadium announcer said, it's good coverage by Hallam, really. Not much open for Wedge. He has to throw long. He's lucky it's not picked. But when you're playing against defence like that who covers everything, it is very tricky as a quarterback. And as we've seen, the running game hasn't been fantastic today for the Sabres. So the pressure will be on him today, it looks like.
Yeah, so Sabres 3rd and long. They snap the ball. Number 10, QB drops back. He's going to have no completion to his number 87, the tight end. So it's going to be 4 downs, about 9 to go. And you'd assume, but who knows with all the trick plays that we've seen so far, that Sabres will be punting here deep inside their own 20. Yeah,
in my opinion, it would be very, very ambitious to go for and out here. So deep in their own half. We've seen what the Hallam offence can do very quickly get the ball away, start again.
Yeah, no, definitely. Number 87, Mark Price, targeted again on that play. It looked like it just floated out nicely to him, but a little bit too much error on the ball, and it floated over his head and out of play. No danger of a pick there. So as we have the special teams for the Sabres come onto the pitch, they are definitely very much in a punt formation. It's a high snap. It's not a fantastic snap, but the punter gets it away. It's gone very high. It's going to come down around the halfway line. No one knows where it is. Sabres are going to surround this and tap it down about the Hallam 30. I think the stadium announcer is giving it as the 25-yard line. So effectively, as if it had gone all the way up for a touchback, they'll start on the 25. It's a place that they're going to be familiar with.
Indeed, and you'd think that that's safe back there, but as we've seen today, it might not be. There's been some storming returns from both sides this afternoon. Good punt, good long punt, gets the ball out of danger. Obviously in American football, if you lose your 4 downs, the other team starts where the ball is, so you really don't want to be giving away that 4th down close to your own end zone. So on the 4th down, most teams opt to kick the ball long, unless you're very close to a touchdown, in which case you might go for the 4th down.
Yeah, no, very much so. You always reserve that 4th down to get the ball away from your goal line and help defend that, and that's what Sabres have done. They've moved the play back up the pitch a good 40 yards or so as Hallam gets underway. 1st and 10. It's a completion out to number 82, but straight away swallowed up. It's going to be minimal gain here, and it's going to be 2nd and long for Warriors. It's some good pass defense so far, short anyway, from the Sabres.
Yeah, some great coverage. It's Reece Waller again, comes in, covers his man, another big hit, and that's what you're looking to do early in games, such as putting some big hits, helps put the nerves in a Hallam offense, which didn't fire on all cylinders against Leeds Beckett the other week in their playoff game. And the Sabres have had that break as well, so they'll be fresher. Yeah,
Warriors gets back underway, 2nd and long. It's a toss to number 1 for the Warriors. He's stayed up on his feet. He's shrugged off a couple of tackles, but again, it's going to be minimal gain. Just waiting for the stadium announcer to help us out here. We've got a obstructed view here. But yes, minimal game there from Hallam Warriors, and it's continued good defence there from the Sabres, and they're going to be very happy with this, trying to look to force their own free and out from the Warriors.
Yeah, they've got to force a lot of free outs, not give up those 1st downs, not let Hallam build the drives, which they've done so well this year. They've had a fantastic season.
So Warriors underway on their 3rd down. It's completion to number 11, the big receiver, and he's underway again. And he's definitely got a 1st down here. He got slowly caught up in a couple of tackles there, slowly brought down. Maybe not the initial big hit that the Sabres will have wanted.
No, I think they'll be disappointed with that. Some good pass coverage, and then they give up a 1st down. So you kind of undo all of your work, really, when you give up that 1st down. You've got Hallam obviously get another 4 chances to make those 10 yards, and they move further up the pitch. And again, this is looking quite ominous for the Sabres.
Yeah, it's that number 11, Ronald Thomas, for the Warriors again. He's making things happen here for the Warriors. He's moved onto the right side, having had that on the left. Hallam gets back underway. It's 1st and 10, and number 1 is all the way, and he's going to be clean in. Absolutely no one around him, and the Hallam Warriors score their 2nd touchdown of the game.
Yeah, Reece McGuinness there, runs straight through. Not fantastic blocking from the Sabres linebackers. They're really who you want to be blocking runners such as that. And he gets through, finds himself in a lot of space, and runs home for the touchdown. And like I said, yeah, they did a lot of good defensive work by the Sabres, but they undo it with that 1st down, and that's the key. They undo themselves with that 1st down, and then with probably 10, 20 yards to go, it's a bit easier to look to build a touchdown.
Yeah, so that leaves the score now with a conversion to come of Sheffield Sabres 14, Hallam Warriors 13. It's going to be a 1-point conversion here. The kick is clean, just over the bar. It's pretty low, but that will tie up the scores here in the 1st quarter of the Sheffield Steel Bowl. It's Steelers 14, Warriors 14, and this game just continues at this frantic pace.
Yeah, there's no let up for us here on the sidelines. But it's what we want to see. No one wants to see free and out over and over again. We want to see touchdowns, we want to see conversions, and that's what we've seen. We've seen some good running game from the Hallam Warriors. They've made some yards, and it just takes the pressure off your QB a bit. If you've got people you can hand the ball off to, you know you've always got that option. You don't always have to look for receivers when the pass coverage is good. So yeah, Hallam have exploited that aspect of their game well today. They tend to mix up a bit between passing and running the ball, something that the Sabres perhaps haven't done and might look to do as the game progresses.
Yeah, Warriors number 1, Reece McGuinness there with that touchdown that ties up the game. And as you say, yeah, despite the first touchdown being technically a pass, it's all running in open play that the Warriors have really shown their strength at as they get us back underway here. And the kick is up, it's high, it's going to be very far back. It's again cleanly fielded by number 87. They're going to go for that trick show and go. It's not been given off, but it's worked again as number 87 breaks down the field on the right side, and he's gone from his own 10-yard line, probably even further back than that, and he's gone up to about the 30-yard line. A fantastic return there.
Yeah, Mark Price again, great return. And he gets to say he was in a good field position. There's no point really starting on your 15, 20-yard line. It's very difficult to build a drive from there. What you want your receivers to do, catch the kick, get a few yards in, and again, that takes the pressure off James Wedge, the quarterback. He's got a bit more open space to aim at now and less pressure on him. He doesn't have to worry about giving the ball away and perhaps conceding a safety.
Yeah, so it's Rowan Huggins, the wide back / receiver, that he's been doing those show and goes with deep, and it's worked again. This time Huggins didn't get the ball, but it's a big return from the Sabers as they go 1st and 10. They've gone around, they've pitched it out. There's some missed tackles from Warriors, and there's going to be a good gain on this. Probably just shy of the 1st down marker as we have a look at the referees. Yeah, 2nd down, and not very far to go here for the Sabers, so a good little start there.
Yeah, nice little trick play, little move, couple of passes, and the running back gets through, makes some good yards. And that's what they'll be looking to do. Just build the yards slowly, eat away at that Hallam defence, who have shown weak points. Despite what we thought before the game, we thought Hallam were in ominous form, but they've not looked the side that perhaps we thought they might be today. Yeah,
Sabers coming into this with a 1-7 record, so that's 1 win out of a total of 8 games that they've played this season, but definitely not playing like that as they get underway. 2nd down, and number 28. Oh no, again, it's a trick play, and I've been completely fooled again. Thought number 28 for the Sabers had the ball. Don't think the Hallam Warriors were just as easily tricked as I was. Minimal gain on that, and it's going to be 3rd down.
No, Jim, I think we both proved why we don't play American football. We've both been fooled there. Thought the ball was coming out to the left wing, but no, they've gone straight for the middle. Good job the Warriors read that better than we did, otherwise it probably would have been another touchdown.
Yeah, very much so. So still first quarter here at Goodwin Sports Centre. It's 14 apiece. It's been a fantastic game, touchdowns galore, and let's see if the game will continue in that manner. But it's 3rd down for the Sheffield Sabers. They're going to look to try and convert this, and the snap's away. And where is the ball? It's so hard to tell with this tricky offense, and it's going to be a 1st down now. I think it's number 28 for Sheffield Sabers with the ball there, Ruben Pear.
Yeah, it's very tricky for us commentators. Traditionally, an American football side in offence will line up in a pretty set formation, so you can tell who's where, who's going to receive the ball usually. And the Sabers have thrown the rubber out the window, and they're all bunched together, and it's so hard to tell who's going to get the ball for both us and the Warriors, which is obviously why they're doing it. It's not worked a treat so far, but perhaps it might do as this drive progresses.
Yeah, no, there's definitely no complaints with the result so far. It's 14 apiece here, as I've just said, and Sabers gets underway again. 1st and 10. It's all staying in the middle. It's a running play. Probably minimal gain, maybe a yard if they're lucky. So it's going to be 2nd down and long. But Sabers, the right side of the halfway line, they're slowly pushing into Hallam territory, and they'll be happy with that.
They will, yes, but I think they might want to look to change this up a bit. They've tried a lot of running games so far in this drive, and Hallam have read it every time.
And as we hear our stadium announcer declare that's the end of the first quarter, so that flew on by, but we end up at 14 points apiece. Enjoyed it, didn't you?
Yeah, fantastic quarter. Like Jamie said, absolutely flew by. I was very surprised to hear that it was the end there. Great game so far. Hopefully both teams can keep up this intensity, because if they do, we'll be in for a thrilling rest of the contest.
Yeah, so that's all from me, Jamie Blakeman, and Josh Minchin in that first quarter. We'll be back with you at the other side of half-time, but now we'll hand you over to our second quarter commentators. Sorry, last I knew the...
right. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love the hand.
First quarter than there was in the last Varsity game.
Yeah, it was an incredible start as well. The first play, obviously, was a touchdown. It sort of spiraled from there. Union been in front of them. I don't think we were kind of expecting the start of that, and we said at the start, the first play is important. Well, that's not a much better play than the 65-yard touchdown pass.
I know, it's absolutely amazing.
But I think we're back to the commentary team
yes.
over there now.
So that's Pete Hennessy and Jacob Broadbridge. Have a good game, guys.
Hello and welcome back to this Sheffield Varsity match.
You join us in the second quarter with me, Jacob Broadbridge. I'm joined by Peter Hennessy. Pete, good to have you, mate.
Great to be here, Jay. It's been a superb first quarter for us.
Really strong, yeah, really good. I mean, normally more points scored than last year already, so that's, always positive.
Let's hope for more of the same in this quarter. Uni have the ball, and I believe it's now second down, is it? Or
second
third down?
Yeah, I believe it's second down, but we do have number 10, which is James Wedge, our quarterback, is down on the ground at the moment.
Seems there's a lot of discomfort there.
We'll come back to you and see what happens with that.
Let's hope he's okay. So far, we've had a lot of joy running the ball, and we've had a lot of joy from our return game.
Yeah, really, really good. I mean, any time you can get points from your special teams is always going to be a bonus. You've got the two guys at the backfield there. You've got Rowan, you've got Mark Price. Both of them look really good with ball in hand. They've got that wildcat idea when they come off and the kick comes into hands. Trying to keep the Hallam defence guessing of who's going to return the ball. And as you see with our second touchdown with Rowan taking it in, that's exactly what's worked well. Down the sideline, he's taken it home for a touchdown.
One thing that I found very interesting, Jay, is that both the times that we've scored, we've gone for 2-point conversions.
Yeah.
Which is, we obviously I think either we don't have much faith in our kicker, or we really fancy ourselves. Obviously, we've converted one of those.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what happens. James Wagg is still down.
It'll be like I say, come back to it. It'll be interesting to see if that's a continued tactic, if that's something they want to go for on every conversion. But yeah, it's an interesting point to look at. Like you say, 1 out of 2. Now it's not looking too bad. But if by the end of the game, who knows? It could be a tight one, and those extra points from kicks could have been really crucial to the end score.
Now James Wedge is sitting up now, which is promising, but he does seem in a lot of pain, and I'm not sure if he will continue. He's getting carried off the field now, and as he gets a warm round of applause from both the Hallam and Uni players and the crowd here. It's not what you want to see, is it, Joe?
No, it is a shame, and obviously these guys, prepare and make sure they're ready for games like this, especially a big game like this at Varsity. So he's going to be absolutely gutted. But it'll be interesting to see what happens now. Maybe with him at quarterback taking the snaps. That was, with this double wing offense that they're running at the minute, that was the plan. But maybe with the new guy that's coming in at backup, there might be something different. So it'll be interesting to see now in this second quarter.
So the Uni offense is taking the field again now, and that brings up third down, I believe.
We're looking at about a third and 2, I reckon. Just coming towards us on the right-hand side at Goodwin here. Little comment on the weather here, Pete. It's absolutely glorious, isn't it?
The sun is shining. It's perfect, absolutely perfect. Although the players must be feeling it.
Yeah.
In all that.
Well, those black helmets definitely not going to help.
Yeah. But no, we're enjoying ourselves.
We're loving it, yeah.
Thing, isn't it?
And I hope you guys are as well, tuning in at Forge TV or Forge Radio Extra.
Screenplay here on the flip side, and has he got it? It will be tight, and it brings up fourth down. So no, they did not get that. That would have been a huge conversion for them.
Are they going to go for it on fourth?
It'd be interesting to see. It won't be fourth and many, so maybe they will go for it.
Offense is staying out, so yeah, they're going for it on fourth down. What are they going to go for here? Another screenplay, possibly a run up the middle?
Maybe a run up the middle, maybe try and power it through. We're in a very narrow formation. I believe 16 is taking the snap. Handoff, fumble. And great work by the Hallam defense.
Really good tackle there, really good tackle. Yeah, excellent tackle there, really good tackle.
So
that's going to be interesting now, because that's really going to put a dampener on the offense there.
That was a huge defensive play.
In those set of downs, they've lost their starting quarterback and a fourth down stop off possibly inches, probably inches really, which is a real shame.
So the Hallam offense takes over, and it'll be interesting to see who takes a snap here. They take it around midfield. Number 5 is not taking the snap. Number 5 for Hallam is their quarterback, David Brown, but he is not under centre. Instead, it is number 7, who is Ewan Chilton. He appears he's taking the snap now, steps back.
Looks deep down the right. Overthrown. He had a man open.
He got separation there.
Yeah, he did. He had a man open down the right-hand side there. by the big crowds that have come today, which is really good to see.
Oh, yeah, everyone's.
I think it's a point that our pundits spoke about before the game started. You know, I think the sport has really picked off in this country. You know, it's excellent for someone like me and obviously you, big fans of American football, to see, and for these guys obviously here. You know, it's such a big game and it's great to have the support.
It's the perfect day for it as well.
Yeah, it's
been
real good.
a great game so far as well for them. A real spectacle. Another pass play
Just
to number 84.
Good tackle.
That is Barney Kirk with the reception there, and Hallam move the chains. So we believe that's sort of first down.
First down, and they've moved sort of about just past the halfway line now. Sorry, just before the halfway line. It's, you know, the offense is working well for Hallam. You know, they're moving the chains pretty simply.
Yes.
Both scores have come off their offense on the field. So it's the defense do need to sort something out. What you see is a great stop there.
Ewan Chisholm to number 1, and that is Reese McGuinness there. Tackle for a loss. There seems to be a little bit of uncertainty about whether he's going to spot the ball.
It's our favourite guy, the tackle, mate. It's Tatenda Mazivanhanga.
I think for this commentary we'll just call him T.
I think so, mate. Yeah.
T, one of Uni's best players.
I think T would be
a real force in the defensive.
We hope he has a good game, but I hope he's quiet because that surname is a mouthful.
Well, I'll just call him T.
Get it.
Number 81 there, fighting through tackles.
Excellent again. They've run that wildcat again with that wing receiver just coming across.
Yeah.
Handoff from the quarterback. But the Uni defense have picked up on it really quickly and got their men across and made an excellent tackle.
No,
so two really good plays there for the Uni defense, which will be really good for their confidence.
Big third down for the Uni defense. They really can't afford to let Hallam get into their territory. Number 7 is again under centre. Ewan Chisholm looking to do something. He's directing his players.
So we have third down, third and long.
And he's in the shotgun, waiting for the snap. Here it comes. Steps back. Great block there by number 1. And it's dropped there on the sideline.
Again, another man open, but it is just about too high for the number 11, who is no small guy. He's a big bloke out there.
Ronald Thomas there with the drop.
Yeah, it's just gone through the fingers, which is a shame.
It was a tough grab. I'm sure Hallam won't be too upset with that series. You know, it was everything was right with the play apart from the catch, but it was a tough touch to take on the sideline.
Yeah.
So,
but that's going to be a really good boost for the Uni side there.
That brings up fourth down.
Fourth down. It looks as if the punt team is out.
And number 87 there, waiting for the kickoff return again. The punt return. He's going to throw
it.
It's a fake. And it does not work. And that I did not expect that.
No,
he caught me by surprise. I'll give him that.
I mean, a punter with green, fluorescent green armbands. That's quite a.
Well, we're not here to judge on style, Jay. We're here to judge on football, but that wasn't the best throw either. So, Uni offense back up on the field with very decent position.
Well,
here.
it's a turnover on downs now, and Uni will take the ball probably about on Hallam's 40-yard line, maybe about 37 to be precise. So yeah, really good field position for Uni to come out on, and obviously coming back off the last offensive phase that they had, losing it on fourth down. It'd be interesting, and now see if they can go again with their backup quarterback in the game.
Yeah, let's see what he can do.
Hand off down the middle.
Stopped before anything happens there.
Yeah,
really good.
It's wrapped up well by the defensive tackle.
The defensive tackle there. So that brings up second down and around 9, I'd say.
It's interesting to see how Uni have gone about their offensive plays and what they're calling at the moment. I mean, what seems ages ago, the first touchdown of the game off their first play was a passing play. I mean, that may be down to the fact that it was something that Hallam weren't expecting, and now it's something they've prepared for. You see that they've got the single defensive back in the backfield. But here we go for another handoff.
19 goes to the sideline. And the
flag on the field.
We'll wait to see what this is from one of our referees.
The handoff's come and he just sort of wheeled round to the left-hand side to the field towards the crowd over there in front of the Hallam supporters.
Yes.
let's say, flag is on the play, so it will be interesting to see.
We'll wait to see whether this is on the offense or the defense. The Hallam are indicating that it's a uni penalty, but we'll have to wait and see now. Our referees are mic'd up, so we should know very soon.
During the run, illegal block in the back. The great offense. Still second down.
It's a disastrous penalty for uni, really.
It's a shame. It's a shame. So we've had a block in the back from number 85 on the uni side there, which is number 85, Simon Arnold.
So it's second down and very long. Maybe they'll go for a pass play. Maybe they'll just try and run and get a few extra yards. The snap is coming now, and it is a
Another
run.
handoff.
And
to
24 goes the outside. Good tackle there. Very good tackle by number 18, who is Olamide Olagbaju, who is a real character, Jay.
Yeah,
we saw him before the game.
Yeah, we saw him walking.
Hyped.
Yeah, he's definitely the ringleader for Hallam.
The
Real voice, wasn't he?
He's one of the captains as well, so he's really was leading by example there, and I'm sure he'll be very happy with himself. It brings up third down, and it'll be interesting to see what Uni do here, whether they do chance it and go long, or whether they play it safe again. It's another narrow formation. 19 is in the backfield. And it's a reverse play, and it's stopped before it even starts.
And we've seen 3 running plays there, which clearly hasn't been working well for them off that set of downs. It'd be interesting to see what happens now, if they decide to bring out the kicking team, or if the offense stay on the field.
Well, we've had 2 series in a row where they've gone for it on fourth down. Uni don't seem to like kicking the ball, but they've got a lot of yards to make up. So
we are joined here with a fourth and long.
And it looks like they are going for it on fourth down. The snap is off. It's a handoff. Oh, and 24 has kicked it. And it goes into the Hallam end zone, does it? Yes, it does. But very good effort there by number 85, who doesn't agree with the officials, but I believe it has gone into the end zone. And the Hallam offense comes onto the field. So, Jay, it's exactly what we thought. It's a very high-scoring first quarter, and then as soon as we come on commentary, it's been a bit of a stalemate. But, you know, Hallam offense, I'm sure, will fancy their chances of moving it down the field here.
Yes, definitely. I think maybe we're a bad charm, mate. I don't know.
We'll see.
But we're enjoying ourselves, aren't we?
It's a great day, Jay. Why can't we? Okay, so
we just joined with Hallam offense on the field now. First down. Cube handoff. And it's shut down, probably again about 2 yards.
That brings up second down and...
Second about 8, I reckon.
8, I'd say about 8 yards.
It's just this set of offense is just in front of us down here on the left-hand side at Goodwin.
Calling out plays for the offense.
Yeah, it's an interesting way they're going about it here, aren't they? They've got these 2 guys in front of us here, both in their vibrant colours. And it seems that before plays, they're either calling shots or they've got hand signals which they're coordinating to the QB.
Oh, and that's a very good
who has
sack.
just been sacked.
It's
our mate T.
On Hallam's 10-yard line. And it is T again.
It is T.
T needs to stop making plays. T has been a dominant force
really good
in this first half. And he really just broke through the offensive line there and brought them down straight away. And Hallam are calling out plays in front of us now. It's third and very long. I'd say a good 17, 18 yards.
Yeah.
So it's a very tall task here. What they don't want is to drop too deep and risk a safety. That would be 2 points to the Uni team. So Ewan Chisholm is under centre again. He gets the snap. He does drop back, and T is after him. And he's sacked again on consecutive plays. That brings up 4th down, deep into Hallam territory. And number 5 is coming into the game now. That's David Brown. And that is someone who we maybe expected to be quarterback before this game started. He's onto the field now. And he might be kicking the ball, Jay.
I think he's punting, yeah. Unless they're going for the fake again, but...
Oh, that would be very bold. And 5 is set to get the ball. And he does kick it.
And that's going to go out on the full.
And it's not the greatest kick by number 5.
So Uni are now going to receive the ball, and offense is going to come on the field at around the 20-yard in the Hallam 20.
That was a really good defensive series.
Yeah,
for
Uni. that was excellent.
Led by T.
Yep. Number 5 for Uni there, the defensive end. He's really got the beating of his man on a couple of occasions there. Really good snap, and then...
So there's about 22 yards to go for Uni if they want to score. They haven't really been able to get much going on offense since Wedge had to go off the field injured. They'll be hoping now for a couple of good plays to get that first down that's been eluding them so far in the second quarter. Snap to number 19, who runs.
Gets to the outside, but he's just maybe brought into touch over there on that left-hand side.
Yes.
Brings up possibly second and 8, I reckon. Got a couple of yards on that running play. They keep continuing with this run, obviously something that they feel more comfortable with. But I feel in a position now where you can put your wide receivers out to the flanks. You could go deep possibly. I think you've got to try something different here, haven't you?
I'd try something different. I think, especially in this position, you haven't really got much to lose. Obviously, there is a risk of an interception, but running play just hasn't been working. They've been picking up 1 or 2 yards, but that's been about it. And this looks like a pass
dropped back.
And the pass is to number 87, who's fumbled it.
The pass was caught.
And he's given it to Hallam. Hallam recover the fumble. And that's a very big defensive play by Hallam. There was a bit of confusion there about whether the play was called dead or whether it was a fumble, but the referees have given it to Hallam and they have recovered the fumble. So what do we know, Jay? We said go past, they did, and it didn't pay off.
I still feel that was a positive bit because they got a guy open. The pass was... I think the problem was in the pass. The pass wasn't strong enough. It was a bit too weak. The guys got it really well and got the ball in. And like I say, he did have control of the ball for maybe 2-3 seconds there.
Yes.
Which, I mean, how to define a catch these days? It's hard to tell. But you'd like to think 2-3 seconds with the ball, and the ball was fumbled. But a wildcat offense again, and number 55 for Uni.
By
Reese Waller is getting across. He's having a really good day. Really good day.
So, defense has been the story of this second quarter, really. Hallam are preparing for their play call now. Number 5 giving out signals to number 7, Ewan Chisholm again. It can't be fun to be backed up in your own 1-yard line and be a quarterback.
No,
this
is not really where you want to be, is there?
It's really a game of inches, and he's got to be really, really careful here, especially with that Uni rush. Handoff, stopped immediately.
Right again. Both offences are really starting to struggle now. First quarter.
First quarter, offense was dominant.
Yeah.
We saw 4 touchdowns, and here they're struggling to bring up a first down, Jay. Both Uni and Hallam. And I think a timeout has been called by Hallam. And the offense are not happy. So each team gets 3 timeouts per half.
Yep.
And 1 has just been taken now. I believe that's the first of the game taken by Hallam.
Yeah, first of the game. So a bit of time for us to just sort of reflect on what's sort of happened in this second quarter so far.
Bit of a whirlwind to start off with.
Yeah, I mean, not much to talk about, but you know, it's definitely been a quarter of the defense, isn't it?
It has.
Both offenses have really started to struggle this second quarter compared to the first, and the game still continues at 14-all, which is, you know, it's a positive start. Both teams have shown their ability on offense, and we'd like to think that that can improve as the game goes on. We're just stood down here on the left-hand side with the Hallam timeout. They're all huddled around their coaches now, who was a little bit animated beforehand.
I think, yeah, they've been very animated. You can tell that this game means a heck of a lot to both teams. We're nearest to Hallam, so we get the reaction from their bench, and they are living every single play.
Yes, exactly.
It's like they're out in the field. So they take the field again now. They've had a minute to compose themselves. It brings up, it's a 3rd down.
They must be snapping at least off the 2-yard line.
They have to take it from the shotgun. So it's Ewan Chisholm again, lining up.
Big
ready
play
to take
here.
the snap. Huge play. Ball is snapped.
He
Ewan
drops back.
The throw
Pass
is
is
short.
incomplete.
It was intended for number 11, who is Ronald Thomas, who's been he's been targeted a couple of times, but it hasn't really happened for him just yet. So
again, another disappointing set of downs there for the Hallam offense, which is it's a shame for those spectating and for us as well. You know, we want to see both teams, you know, moving the sticks, moving those downs and getting further and further down the field. But as we come back now, we've got number 5, David Brown, back on the field, and looks the punt team are out. So we've got 2 in the backfield as the punt goes up.
He takes it with his orange sweatbands. Number
Mark
87
Price is underneath.
Underneath it, he takes it
And he
breaks a tackle.
blocks round 1.
Breaks another tackle, runs down the sideline, and that's a great return by number 87 to around the 13-yard line. Bit of trash talk on the sideline here, Jay. It's to be expected.
Some explicit language.
A lot of emotions.
We'll not repeat.
A lot of emotions. But we're trying to keep a cool head, and I'm sure the uni team, the uni offense are now, because they're in very good field position.
Yeah, really good field position. We join with the uni offense just on the Hallam 10, I believe. Excellent chance to get some points on the board. Be interesting to see if they continue with this run-heavy offense that they are playing.
Oh, and it's a fumble. Well, luckily, number 16 has jumped back on it there, because that would have been very disastrous. And the Sabers take their first time out of the game. So, Jay, I'm going to ask you now, has there been any standout players for you in this first half so far?
To pinpoint a couple, I think, especially in this second quarter, T's been really strong. He had a couple of consecutive downs where he got to the quarterback and really put some pressure on. I think from there, the momentum for the uni defense has really come from. He's led the team from that front defensive line, and he's definitely been one of those. I think to pinpoint anyone else, probably number 87, Mark Price, has been really strong.
Yes.
Mostly with ball in hand when returning, whether that be received, because I think he's received pretty much every kick today.
He has, yes.
And for the Rowan Huggins touchdown, he was the one that handed it off. And it's simple things like that. You've got to selling it when you give the hand off and whatnot, and that's what he's done. So he's been really good today. Hallam have struggled this second quarter.
They have.
A couple of handoffs in the backfield.
Oh, and he's
Gone
dropped
back again.
And Uni have lost about 10 yards in those two downs there, and which has taken them from really good field position to near on midfield. They can't be very happy with that. 83 looks to be in some pain. He's hobbling off. And number 19 comes onto the field. So the Hallam defence and the Uni defence will be happy with the second quarter. And as another timeout is called by the Sabers. So they only have one left now. 2 timeouts in quick succession. Only 34
seconds to go in this second quarter. It's been a disappointing one, to say the least, coming off the back of that first quarter with the 14-all score. But it's nice to see the game settle down. Both defenses have settled into the game a lot more. I think there may be a few nerves to start with. But third and long now as the Sabers come back out onto the field.
It'll be interesting to see if they run and try and run down the clock, or whether they do go for some form of score before half-time. And the referee has stopped the game here. The referee closest to us on this far-hand side.
Just to check a helmet, I think.
Check a helmet. Okay, and now we're back. And the ball is ready to be snapped now on this 3rd down play. Ball is snapped. Another handoff. Stopped in its tracks by number 52.
And another set of disappointing downs for Uni offence there.
Number 52, Stephen Connolly there with the good defensive play. And there's a stop now. So that brings up 4th down for Uni, and it's been another disappointing offensive series for them.
Yeah, it's a shame. And there's that final timeout of the half for Sabers. Obviously, you know, restart over next for the second half. But I think they feel that maybe there's a possibility here to maybe get a little bit more field ground, take the field goal. Because I think some points on the board to go up in the lead at half-time would be somewhere that maybe Uni didn't think they would be before this game, with Hallam being so strong this season in their respective division.
Yeah, I think you've got to point to the fact that Uni were 1-7 this season, and Hallam have done so well in their league. So for the scores to be level at this moment, I'm sure they'll be very happy with that. The only bad thing being that Wedge has had to go off injured. So 16 drops back, and he looks to pass it. And is it caught?
It's an incomplete pass.
It's an incomplete pass on 4th down.
So Hallam offense will be able to have about probably 20 seconds on the field now.
I think around 20 seconds. There was 25 seconds before that play started. So around 20 seconds. It's 1st down for them. A lot can be done in 20 seconds, Jay. We know that in this game. So it would be a real bit of pill to swallow for Uni if Hallam got anything here. And Ewan Chisholm, is ready to take the snap again. No,
actually, I think it seems it is our
number 5,
David Brown. Yeah.
So he
punter
has
turn quarterback. So number 5 to take the snap here in the beautiful fluorescent orange armbands.
No, you really can't miss him.
I think he just wants us to talk about him, doesn't he? I think that's and he
Brown
drops back.
Deep throw.
Oh.
And it's just over number 84. Who tried to make that catch. And number 84 is Barney Kirk. So Kirk went up for it, but it was just a little bit too much for him.
And already you can see the power that David Brown's got in those arms. Really strong pass downfield, but it's just over the waiting wide receiver.
And I expect Brown to pass it again here. They've got to get up the field. They haven't got long left. And if it's an incomplete pass, then the clock stops, which works into Hallam's favour. So Brown, again, under centre, takes a snap, catches it one hand, throws to this near side, and I believe that's incomplete.
He did have a man open just down on this left-hand side, but just a bit too low.
He just underthrew it slightly.
Yeah.
That
incomplete passes, times keep stopping, and we've just been informed 6 seconds left on the quarter.
So it seems as though this will be the last play of the second quarter, and we expect it to be a big, deep pass. Maybe if they could get it out of bounds and stop the clock. But it's
really not a lot of time to work with, is it?
No. Takes a
so
snap.
Drops back.
Deep throw.
Deep.
Oh, and it's nearly picked off by Uni. And there must be, what, 2 seconds on the clock?
If that. So we've just had a turnover on that. They've called half-time. So we just finished the second quarter here, 14 all. Not the most exciting quarter compared to the first.
No, I think we were due.
But we'll now hand you back to the boys over in the studio.
Hello guys, and welcome back to the coverage of this varsity matchup. Guys, we're talking about a quick start. How quick was that?
I mean, this has been a fantastic game so far. Exactly what we wanted to see. Kind of both ends of the field are getting some action. It's fantastic. I mean, absolutely what we wanted.
Yeah, it's been sort of 2 games in one game. Obviously, that first quarter was so manic, and there were so many touchdowns. We were 14 off the end of it, and I certainly thought we might not even score 2 touchdowns today. To have 2 in the first quarter was incredible. And like we said at the quarter break, more points in the first quarter than we had in the whole of last year's game. So
just talk us through that first touchdown by Price. What went well about it? How did it kind of find the seam in the Hallam defence?
Yeah, it's kind of exactly how Uniov wants to get started. They wanted to make this big, aggressive play straight up the middle. It was just, we expected Uniov to come out in a double wing, which is as we described at the start. It's kind of everyone bunts up in the middle. But they had, there's two of their big receivers, Rowan Huggins and Mark Price, out on the left-hand side of the field. Lovely ball by James Wedge, and just Mark Price did the rest of the work. Broke another tackle. I think he just took it to the house, and exactly how we started. Exactly how we needed to start for the entire game, just set the tempo. I mean, Uniov and Hallam have both been fighting for the ball the entire time. It was brilliant.
I think it was surprising how much space they had on defence, because we talked up Hallam's defence all in the start of the game, and then they had Mark Price had so much space to receive the ball. He obviously had a lot to do once he got it and to get it that 65 yards to the touchdown, but he had plenty of space to make the reception, and Wedge found him easily.
How important for receivers is those receiving after catch yards or rack yards? How important is that for a receiver? How important is that for their game?
Yeah, so much of the receiver. I mean, I think a lot of it, if you use the NFL comparison, I mean, some receivers are very good. Let's take the Odell Beckham, who's obviously the most famous, probably receiver in the NFL right now. He's brilliant catching the ball. He can catch it anywhere. But what he does when he gets the ball is even better. And that's what makes a great player. You can be a good player at catching it, but certain players, if you can do well with the ball in your hands, make those difficult kind of one-on-one misses of the ball, beat the player, beat the man, break a tackle, and get it into the end zone, then you're a money player. And that's exactly what Mark has done today. He's proved that he is a future caliber player. I mean, he's a first-year guy that's come to this team and has done a fantastic job thus far.
So, on the flip side, how demoralising is that for Hallam to concede a touchdown on the first drive of the game?
Oh, very, and as they pride themselves on defence, this team as well, it's been really upsetting for them. But it sort of seemed to take them, the whole play seemed to take them a little bit by surprise, and it's not. I don't think it's what they were expecting, even though they'll have known about these university weapons that they had available to them. It did seem to just catch them off guard a little bit. I'm not sure why, whether it was just a slow start from them and a bit of a hangover from losing last week, I think might be the fact of it.
And to compile onto that, they missed the snap on their first drive. Again, was that from nerves? Does that show kind of like a bit of nervousness in the Hallam offence?
I mean, I don't know. I think it's a combination of things. Maybe just the fact that their offense wasn't expecting to be on the field that quickly. Maybe they thought they had break, and this kind of Uniov kind of acceleration, just offense kind of shocked them into action. But maybe I think it's just nerves. It's Varsity. It's the biggest game of the entire year. This is what the entire year is built upon, and I can tell from the player, from the moment that you step into the huddle or with those guys from the first, Varsity is mentioned every single week. This is the game you build up to, and it will be the exact same for the Hallam guys as well. This is just nerves, but everything is settled down now, and it's turned into an incredible game.
Well, if there's any tension in the Hallam offence, that completely went after a 75-yard touchdown for them to draw the game at 8. Well, not draw the game, but 8-7. Sorry. I mean, how much of a lift is that for Hallam to get the touchdown straight after?
It's massive, and especially say after conceding so early on. And Renell Thomas, it was a great reception as well. He just took the ball, and he sort of never looked like getting stopped. It was a really powerful run, and we talked about receivers as well who can make those runs, and that was another example. Like you saw 2 in the first couple of plays of the game.
But I think it has to be stated, I mean, there were 3 or 4 big missed tackles there from the Uniov defence. They've solidified the kind of game going thus far, and they've made some big tackles later on to kind of prevent those big yardage plays. But 3 or 4 big missed tackles against one of the best players, which kind of leads into a touchdown. It's exactly not what you wanted. You needed that strong defence to come in and prove that you were going to hold Hallam and prevent them getting any more yardage. But that kind of play, I think it kind of was a little bit lethargic. Maybe they were kind of still going off the offense's glory. They hadn't settled down yet. Probably the Varsity nerves.
You can hear the cheerleaders behind us going through the routine. So more pop music for you, Aidan.
Thank you. It's just what I wanted.
And I mean, right after the Hallam touchdown, 8-7, Rowan Huggins pops up with a great return touchdown. Again, another fast reply, quick scoring. How does that feel to get a quick score after that? And how do you think Uniov felt after that?
I mean, I can tell you right now, their mood is going to be skyrocketing straight after that. I think it was just exactly what we wanted. You've seen with the kickoffs, and anybody who kind of knows the game well, kickoffs to any team with a good returner, they're going to kick away from it. That's what Hallam will be doing. They've been kicking away from Rowan the entire game. First touch that Rowan gets on returning, he takes it to the house. He's done it, I think, 3 or 4 times this year, so he's a dangerous weapon in that, and he's one of our biggest assets on the team.
It was interesting when we were watching it together that you said he was going to get the handoff, because we'd seen that they've been kicking to the other receiver, and you were like, oh, he's going to get it here. And then what's he do? Gets it, 80-yard return, touchdown. And I was like, yeah, not bad. It's a good call. But again, powerful. That's been the story of the first quarter, certainly. Powerful running, and Huggins looked brilliant. He's a really classy player.
And again, I keep saying compiling, but Hallam then throw a touchdown, interception. Sorry. Again, if you're a Hallam quarterback, a Hallam offense, you're thinking, what are we doing here? Uniov are really stepping up. I mean, after throwing an interception, you're 14-7 down. What do you do then as a Hallam player?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a little bit interesting how that kind of battle is going on at the quarterback position. We've just seen in the last couple of plays, Dutch, which is their nickname for one of their QBs, who we thought or assumed would be starting today, has actually replaced the starter and has come back onto the field. So maybe there's a little bit of problems there. The coach isn't happy with what's going on right now. So that kind of battle and that kind of toing and froing will be interesting to see how it plays out in the rest of the game.
It'll be interesting to see if he stays on at the start of the second half, because he came on in a position with about 30 seconds left to try and throw that long ball.
Yeah,
you saw a couple of them when he was doing Hail Marys where he was like overthrowing 40-yard passes. So it'll be interesting to see if he starts the second half or how Hallam decide to play this game from here on out.
So Uniov couldn't kind of get another score from that interception, and then Hallam get the ball back, reply straight away with a great rushing touchdown. It's 14-all. That's how the score's finished this first half. How do you feel after Hallam? You've had two quick replies from Uniov, and you reply yourself quicker. How does that feel?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting game thus far. The rushing touchdown you mentioned, there was a shame there was a defensive muck-up. Player misread the play, sad, but it happens. It's a game, it's with humans. You've got to accept those kind of things are going to happen in the game. Uniov really needs to get back, but it's an interesting game so far, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm loving it. It's really close, and it's neck and neck. It's
much more entertaining than last year's, to say. As a person playing on the defense, how focused you need to be for that rushing play? How focused you need to be as a...
Well, everything is meant to deceive you and throw you off. And there you've got people coming out to block you. One of the players on the back end misread the play, thought it was going straight up the middle. Shame it came round to his outside, and effectively it ran round his back. It was a little bit of a shame because he was sat on the field at the end, kind of hands on his head, just kind of, he knew he'd mucked up in a sense. But this is a thing we've got to accept that and just get back on and realise that you're there for a reason. The coaches trust you, they know you can play, and they're just going to get straight back on the field and hopefully dominate for the rest of the second half.
Now, Aidan, James Wedge, the quarterback, has gone off injured. How's that going to affect Uniov in the second half?
I think you've already sort of seen how it affected him in the second quarter, because perhaps the fluency wasn't quite there that we had at the start when Wedge was on, but Shatton's done a decent job, but perhaps not the passing plays that we saw at the start. We've not quite seen it click into gear, but he's had time now. He's had a quarter to settle in, and the good thing is the game hasn't got away from us. It could have, you see both teams scoring 14 points in the first quarter. If that happens again in the second quarter, it's a completely different game, but the defence has done well to keep them in it, and Shatton's now got time and he knows what he's got to look for, and I think having that second quarter to bed in has really helped him.
Yeah, Bruno definitely has the trust of the players, and everyone's behind him right now. Let's just hope he can perform in the second half.
How do you think this game's going to go, guys?
Oh, put me on the spot. It's just so hard to predict because you've seen two completely different games, like I said, of football so far. I think we're still in with a chance, and I think there's a chance of an upset.
I think there is a chance of the upset. The one big thing is if James Wedge was still on his feet and was still playing, I'd put it as a very 50-50 game. That injury has really swung in Hallam's favour. And special teams, which is something that isn't really mentioned a lot of, and special teams is kind of like the kicking and the punting and everything like that. I think that's going to play a very big part of today, especially with Rowan receiving a lot of those kicks for Uniov, whether he can make some magic and do some little things there to kind of create some mismatches and get down the field a little bit more. That will be the decider. But I think Hallam's got a slight favour. If I could put some points total on it, I'm going to be bold and say 27-21 to Hallam.
Oh, you've gone all out there, haven't you?
Yeah, go on, Aidan. Can you give us a prediction? I must actually point out, Aidan pointed out the fact that Hallam had only averaged less than a touchdown
the game conceded, yeah, thanks.
That blew your flags out the
water.
I
look like an idiot. No, people can rewind and look at me going really confidently. They won't concede many points. I think there'll be a field goal in it.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean,
but I don't know who's going to win.
It's a very close game by now. But just looking out on the field, it's quite interesting to note Dutch, one of the QB in number 5, he's training or he's warming up right now. So it looks like he may be starting the second half. All the players are obviously warming up straight behind us. So it's interesting to see this dynamic of that QB position battle changing for Hallam.
It's also interesting to see that the Hallam players are out and our players sort of aren't there still getting words from the coaches. I think perhaps we've been stood next to the Hallam coach, perhaps not quite as pleased with what he's seen as he'd expect, I think, especially after the season that we've talked about that they've had. I think still what we've seen in this game is a bit of a hangover from last weekend, and that'll really disappoint him so far.
Yeah, we've seen some harsh words coming from the coaches to the players on the field, and I think a little bit of angry emotions kind of just spewing out right now. Hopefully that doesn't take hold of the team too much and maybe let anger kind of dominate the second half performance, because it could result in more bad plays and kind of missed opportunities.
So are we expecting a big response by Hallam in the second half?
Yeah, I think, and like we said at the start of the game, I think the first few plays, the first 5 minutes of that third quarter are going to be crucial, and it'll sort of set the tone for the rest of the half, because I think we're going into this as a bit of a fresh game. Both sides will be reassessing now, they'll be thinking with their coaches, what can they do, and what have they seen in the first half that they didn't like, what have they seen that they did like, and what can they bring to the table that's something new for either the defence or the offence to look at.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a very, very close game. I think it's just going to be which team is going to come out the gates best in the second half and just kind of put not the punch in, but really lay it into the opposition and see who actually comes out on top.
So the replacement quarterback for James Wedge is actually Bruno Shatton, number 16. Max, you know Bruno.
Yes.
What is he like as a quarterback? Is he capable? Can he drive the offense down the field for Uniov?
He's a guy that started off as a wide receiver, so he's not a natural quarterback, but he's got talent there. The coaches obviously trust him to put him in Varsity, the biggest game of the year, and put him under centre. He's got the trust of the players. He can do the job, and he can do it well. He's scored points with this team. It will be hard. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Going up against Hallam defences, as Aidan mentioned, it's one of the best, probably best in the northern divisions. It's going to be a hard-fought match, and he's got to really focus on and really nail it down. But he can do it. He's scored points before. He can do it today. There's nothing different just because it's a bigger stage.
The good news is he's not coming out this fresh as well, because Wedge has been injured, like we said before the game, for quite a lot of the season. So he's had chance to play in the league. He knows how to do it. He knows how this offence works, and that's so important in this. And I think he'll like I say, he'll have bedded in that second quarter, and I think at the start of the third quarter he'll have to sort of try and make a run, have a drive that will work for him and for the rest of the team.
Because we saw a couple of nice passes. He did a couple of nice passes to Mark Price.
There was a couple in double coverage as well, which he needs to
double,
eliminate,
triple coverage. Just the nerves are now settled. He realises he's starting. Forget about Wedge and how he's injured, and just focus on with the rest of the game right now.
Do you think that Uniov will try and change their offense to kind of suit Bruno?
It's hard to say right now. I'm obviously not in the coach's mindset, but this is all the kind of the tactics that is playing around with the kind of the between the coaches and everything like that. I think Uniov will try to keep it as similar as they want. They don't want to change too much and kind of add more pressure on right now in the middle of a big game. But it'll be interesting to see. Maybe they'll throw in like a couple of cheeky plays or something here and there. It seems like double wing's not really working right now. It seems to be kind of only getting 1 or 2 yards and even losing yardage a lot of the time. I think going back to the passing plays is the way to win this game for Uniov.
We gave it the big build-up, didn't we? The double wing. I mean, we sort of, they didn't start with it and then they brought it in. It just hasn't seemed to work, like you say. But it'll be. I think they'll probably persevere with it for a bit, because I think there's still enough variety in there that. But like, is there a problem with like when they play it? There's a feeling that sort of the players almost don't know what might happen as well. Is that ever a danger?
I don't know exactly, but I think we were talking about at the start the difference between the O-line and the D-line and the competition and the battle that is going on there. And definitely, if with double wing to work, you need to have a strong O-line that's going to dominate up front. Hallam have been dominating that battle the entire time, which means those quick little simple yards, I call them simple, quite complicated yards, up the middle runs, they're just turning into long and quite hard and lethargic kind of efforts to get anything. And it just hasn't really worked out thus far. Passing seems to have gone a complete opposite direction.
We've seen on the defence as well for Uniov quite a couple of sacks from Tatenda, the defensive end. How vital is he to the Uniov defence?
He's a fantastic player. He's a fantastic player. When he shows up, he's one of the stars of this team, definitely one of the stars of this team. He's a brilliant guy who can make that difference, and he's shown there against the left tackle, which is supposedly one of the most important pieces of an O-line. He's shown he's able to get around the outside and put pressure on the QB and force him out, and even forced a couple of sacks.
So we are actually ready to go back to our commentary team of Josh Minchin and Jamie Blakeman for the second half. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you, guys. I'm Jamie Blakeman, joined here pitchside by Josh Minchin once again. We had the action-packed first quarter, and nothing really happened. I say nothing, but no points were scored in the second, was it? Still at 14-all.
No, an absolutely blistering start, and then, as I predicted, the game did settle down a bit. I think some nerves from both sides, a couple of defensive errors, and then after that, everyone settles into the game, settles into the contest, and we start to see both sides a bit more evenly matched. But we'll be interested to see what happens in the third quarter here. hopefully we have all the points again.
Yeah, finally poised here. It's going to be the Sabers to get us back underway. The big news from that second quarter was the loss of the Sabers quarterback, so that's going to be interesting to see how that affects things. But they seem to be going okay towards the end of that second quarter. Everyone's been in at halftime and had a chat and maybe realigned some tactics. But here we go. Sabers get us back underway. It's the start of the third period here at Varsity 2017. The ball hits the ground, but it's cleanly fielded by number 17 from Hallam. He's broken 1 tackle, 2 tackles, and he's down on about the 30-yard line, it looks like, from here. So a decent return.
Yeah, Nagashimi Frankie, great return. Couple of yards, just like I said earlier, just squeezes those few yards in, and it's a chance for his quarterback to build a drive. You really don't want to be starting close to your own goal line. Just takes the pressure off his QB a bit. He's got a little bit of yardage behind him. He can drop back into the pocket a bit. But yeah, that's really what you want your returners to be doing. But the Sabers will feel good about that. They've got some good field position. They can put pressure on the Hallam offense here.
Yeah, it was a good kick. No chance of a touchback, so it had to be returned. And Sabers are up there quite quickly and put a good quick stop in. So it's going to be Sabers 1st and 10 on approximately their own 30-yard line. A little bit hard for us to tell here from our commentary position. But they're formed up and ready to go at the start of this second half. The score 14 points apiece. Sabers early lead, but here we go. And it's Hallam underway. It's a little toss out to number 10 for Hallam. Good run. He found a little bit of a pocket, ran straight through, got a good few yards there.
Yeah, Keith Capiche made advantage of some good blocking by his teammates, squeezes those extra yards, and that's what we've seen for most of the game, really. Some good running game from both sides. Nothing spectacular, but just grinding those hard yards out and making your way down the field, building a drive.
Yeah, that's very much Hallam's game plan as they come here at second down and medium length, and it's another toss out to number 10 for Hallam. He's got the ball again, and he's sidestepped one, then taken at the knees, and he goes down. And we'll see, was that enough for the first down? It's going to be 3rd and 1, I think our stadium announcer says. No, the officials disagree. It's first down for the Hallam Warriors. That's exactly what they want to start this second half.
Yeah, it looks tight. An identical play, really. Tosses it out to the fullback and he runs through, gets those yards. The Sabers might be a bit disappointed with that. They didn't read that because it was almost identical.
Yeah, it was exactly the same. Out to the right and a good little pitch, and it worked again, so why not go for it again? So it's going to be interesting to see what they do on this 3rd possession of this second half. It's out to the QB, David Brown. He throws it, and it's a great little catch there. It was low, and the receiver's gone down onto his knees to field that number 81 for Hallam, doing his utmost to protect that ball and make sure that no one else was getting to it, and he's got that reception.
Yeah, Mark Foster with the catch. A great pass by David Brown. Gets out to the left. They get those valuable yards. And a rare passing play, Jamie. Haven't seen many of them today.
Yeah, we haven't. Hallam have very much tried to keep it on the ground, and why not? Because it's worked so well for them. Just a little reminder of the score, 14 all as Hallam get underway again here. Minimal gain, probably a slight loss there. Just Sabers chewing it all up at the line, make sure that this time there was no gap to go into.
Yeah, very congested in the middle of the field. Great D-line by the Sabers, puts pressure on the run. And as we've said, the running game has been a prominent feature. And you do wonder if both teams would perhaps mix it up a bit. Perhaps there's space to be exploited in behind, test out those safeties and those cornerbacks. So far, it's just all been running. Yeah,
this could be setting up a big play here. It's 3rd and short, and there's going to be a flag thrown here. It's probably going to be false start against Hallam Warriors, it looks like, doesn't it? And it was indeed that, so they're going to get marched back. It's going to go from 3rd and short to 3rd and long. Number 11 it's against on the Hallam Warriors offense. So he's responsible for that 5-yard loss, which is not going to help them on this 3rd down, is it?
No, not at all. If you move before the snap, i.e. when the ball's thrown back to the quarterback, you are penalised in American football. That is a full start. And yeah, I mean,
it was pretty obvious, wasn't it?
Do well to get first down from here.
Yeah, so 3rd and 8 for Hallam Warriors, just inside their own half. It's going to be quite a big ask here to convert this, but they have done well. I wouldn't be surprised to see it go back to the ground game, but now it's going to be an aerial pass. Ooh. Nearly picked off there by Sabers number 30. He got in amongst that passing lane there and very nearly had a chance at it. Can't find number 30 on our team sheets.
Yeah, Matthew Jenkins. Good coverage again by the Sabers. Yeah, I think the Warriors would be disappointed with that. It did open up a bit for David Brown. He had a couple of options, but failed to pick anybody out.
Yeah, he had time in the pocket there. He was able to survey all of his receivers. He found one that looked to be open. Jenkins getting in there, like nearly had the tip on it, but the ball ends up going down, incompletion, and it's going to be 4th down, and it's a low snap. Here comes the punt, and it's kind of going end over end here, and it's going to go out of play. It's going to hit our camera position. So if we're on that, that's going to have gotten all shaken up. But they've got the ball down to the Sheffield Sabers 20-yard line, and they'll be quite happy with that, won't they?
Yeah, quarterback opted for the punt. It looked like they might go 4 and out at first, which I must admit I was a bit confused by. But no, went for the punt, got the ball clear. And yeah, the Sabres were stuck on the 20-yard line, which isn't disastrous. As we said, it's a shortened field, so they're about a quarter of the way up the pitch. And it's not an awful place to start your drive from at all.
No, not at all. And for a second, I was getting a little bit confused on that punting, because I've just realised that David Brown, the Warriors QB, is also their punter. For a second, I thought they might have been gambling to go on 4th down there, but no, it was a good punt from the quarterback. So why not if he can kick like that? But it's going to be Sheffield Sabres ball just inside of their own 20-yard line. And it's, again, that now unmistakable double wing formation. Very hard to read, but it's a pitch out to number 24. He's found a gap through the middle, and he's getting mauled forward by his teammates. He's still going, and that's going to be a good amount of yardage there. Some great blocking from the Sabres.
Yeah, that's if you want to exploit your running game in American football, the guy that's actually got the ball is probably the one not to watch. You want to be watching everybody else, because it's impossible to make any ground unless your teammates are doing their jobs and blocking the correct players. So although the man with the ball gets all the plaudits if he runs 70 yards, really it's everybody else doing the hard yards and making sure that nobody can get to him.
No, exactly. Number 24, Steve Burgess, with that big carry there. It's going to be 2nd and short, about 2 yards for the Sabres as they edge slowly away from their goal line. They're now on about the 25-yard line. 2nd and short here, and let's see what they do as they snap the ball. Number 16 dropping back, gets the pass away, and it's complete to number 19 for the Sabres, and that's a big 1st down, and will take them just into Hallam Warriors' own half, and that's a fantastic play from them, wasn't it?
Yeah, fantastic play from Bruno Session. Under a lot of pressure, looked like a sack. I was expecting the sack. Gets the ball away, and again, he looked to have just thrown it clear, as many quarterbacks do. If you're under pressure, you don't want to be downed close to your own goal line, so quite often you throw the ball away for an incompletion, take the next down. So it looked like Shatton had just thrown the ball away to avoid being sacked, but no, picks out a receiver, and they've made a lot of yards in the Sabres.
Yeah, no, it was a very good find there by Bruno Shatton, the 2nd-string QB who's had to step up into this game after Sabres lost James Wedge in that 2nd quarter. It looks to be quite a nasty injury. I don't think we've had any confirmation yet of what it was.
No, it looked to go over on his ankle. I mean, we'll confirm that when we can. But Shatton's he stepped up into the game the last couple of minutes.
He's looking comfortable, isn't he? And it's a little QB sneak here. And he's tried to edge forward a couple of yards, trying to see what down they're on, because that's normally a play reserved for minimal gain when you're looking to get that 1st down marker. I thought that original pass was enough for the 1st down. So a little bit interesting to see the QB sneak there, as we have the officials come over and double check their down markers. Still can't quite see the flag. It's a very congested sideline here we have at Goodwin. We're sharing the same side as the Hallam Warriors, and obviously the team sizes in this sport. It's making it a little bit hard, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of men in the American football team, and they're not the smallest of lads either, so it's quite tricky to see the down markers. It seemed an odd decision from the Sabres,
but they're away again, the Sabres. They've snapped the ball and they're coming left. It's so hard, as always, with this formation to tell who's got the ball, but it's number 19 for the Sabres that's been carrying it there. Rowan Huggins, someone that we've been saying his name a lot of. A small gain probably there, or possibly no gain. And it's 3rd down for the Sabres. I can finally see the down marker appear out of nowhere. So this drive may be in danger of stalling a little bit on the halfway line.
Yeah, they've got to find some yards here to pick up that 1st down. And that's what the Sabres are going to have to do in this 2nd half if they're going to beat the Warriors. Keep picking up those 1st downs, keep that defence out on the field, and keep putting pressure on the men in maroon. And they've been, like we said earlier, been in good form this year. They've not perhaps played to their potential today.
Yeah, Warriors might be getting more and more frustrated as this game goes on. They're clearly the better team on their records, but Sabres are very much in this game at 14 apiece. As Sabres snap the ball, they go forwards, and again, it's all a little bit congested in the middle there. He's got a couple of yards there. But it's probably not going to be enough to get the 1st down as we wait for the officials to signal, and no, it's not going to be a 1st down. So that drive has stalled from the Sabres.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens here, but you've really got to pick up those first downs if you're going to win in a game of American football, and that they haven't there. And they're quite deep in, well, not deep in their own half, but they don't really want to be giving the ball away here. Be a nice field position for Hallam where they pick the ball up here. So.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're forming into any kind of punting formation. It's 4th and 5 yards, so quite a distance to go to try and convert this, but they're going to go for it on 4th down.
They don't want to give this away.
Yeah, so about just inside of Hallam's half. They're just a second off the halfway line as the ball is snapped, and it's gone to 24 eventually after more misdirection from the Sabers, but it's nowhere near the 5 yards required, and that's going to be a turnover on downs on about the halfway line.
Yeah, interesting decision from the Sabers. I'd have been tempted to punt now, cut your losses, start again, and they've actually conceded the ball well into their own half, and that's not what you want at all. Hallam will have a chance to attack that uni goal line, excuse me. Yeah, interesting decision there, Jamie. I didn't expect them to go for that at all.
Yeah, I guess I can. This smaller pitch might play a role in it. If you end up putting your punt too far, it's going to be a touchback, and you come all the way back to 25. So maybe that's why they thought they're not really going to. They probably might struggle to get that punt where they want it. Might end up with a touchback and almost be in the same position. So why not take that gamble?
Yeah, perhaps we've seen that quite a lot today. Teams going 4 and out.
But so it's now Hallam Warriors' ball, and they've snapped the ball to David Brown, who's tossed it out to number 10 for Hallam. It's that man again, and he has made some fantastic running plays. Not quite a carbon copy of the other the two plays that they had, which resulted in some good yardage. But number 10 for Hallam there,
yeah,
really strong.
Keith Capiscio gets in again, gets his head down, gets those yards, sees the tackle come in, dives forward, just gains his extra couple of yards. That's a sign of a really good running back. Just squeezing as many metres as you can out of your run, out of your carry. And, well, inside the 30-yard line here, it looks like. Yeah,
so that's what the Hallam Warriors will want. They've stacked 2 receivers out on the right here, only 1 on the left. They've got a half-back and a running back. The ball is snapped, but it's going to stay with QB David Brown. He fires over the top. Number 11 had it in his hands, but it's a great challenge from Sabers number 26. He breaks up that play completely fairly and legally, and that's some great defensive work there.
Yeah, a lot of pace in the ball, and you wonder if David Brown was under pressure. Good pass rush from the Sabers. They get in his face. You can see with the ball, you can see a couple of men coming to your left and to your right. You know you've got to get away quickly. Perhaps a little bit too much pace on the pass. It's a difficult one to catch, and he doesn't.
Yeah, Liam Pratt, the 5th-year Sabers veteran, breaking up that, and it's Hallam 3rd and 2 now, so let's going to see what they're going to do here. It's going to go back to QB's, fake to throw. It's stayed on the ground, and that will be enough for the first down, and the Warriors move forward onto about the 25-yard line of the Sabers.
They weren't needed there, but you can see again, Jamie, how quick the Sabers are to get into that pass rush, blitz the quarterback, put pressure on him. That's something they're going to need to do. Brown's not thrown that many completions today, and arguably with a bit more pressure, they might be able to force some more 4 and outs and maybe even sack him.
Very much so. So it's Warriors again, 1st and 10. It goes back to number 10. He's got it again. Probably only 1 yard gain, if that. Again, it's a good little blitz there from the Sabers. They've made sure that run game is getting slowed down, and it's 2nd and 9.
Yeah, they are making the slow yards, Hallam. Edging ever closer to that uni goal line. Nice drive building here. The Sabers want to break this up quickly, maybe try and get them to go 4 and out.
Yeah, so it's Hallam Warriors ball again. 2nd and about 9 yards to go, just inside of the Sabers half. 14 points apiece here in the 3rd quarter. It's a fake play, and it ends up being a pass, and it's a completed pass. He's managing to stay up in the air, and the officials will put an end to this because no one's going to be able to get down on the ground. And it's probably it's going to be a first down. He managed to get a couple of yards after the initial contact, and he's turned what would have been 3rd and 1 into a first down.
Yeah, great receiving play. Safe hands, picks the ball up, good strong legs, drives forward, squeezes those couple of yards out, enough for the first down, and this looks ominous for the Sabers. They're well inside the 20-yard line. Yeah,
Warriors starting on the Sabers 16-yard line or so, just shy of 1st and goal. But this is where they'll want to be with these scores tied up in this 3rd quarter of Sheffield Varsity 2017. Balls in action, Warriors trying to get some yardage, and Sabers are going to knock it down for a good 2 or 3 yard loss there. Exactly the kind of comeback that Sabers would have wanted after giving up that first down.
Yeah, American football's all about bouncing back. You give up the first down, give up a touchdown. You need to have a big, strong play, and it's a big tackle. That'll give his defence quite a lot of confidence. something we've been saying, both sides perhaps need to mix it up a bit more. It's another running play, and it's just not always worked.
Yeah, Sabers second and long. It looks like a passing play, but it's ended up on the ground again, and that's some good yardage. They're going to be about 2 or 3 yards short there. It's going to be 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 probably. Still not in here, but Warriors keeping on the ground again.
Yeah, keep it on the ground, run forward. He actually wasn't tackled. He looked to lose his footing, but he was held on the floor, was grounded. So it does count as a down. And yeah, very close to the Sabers goal in here. Maybe we'll look to pass this, get in behind their Sabers defence.
Yeah, Sabers on about the 9-yard line. It's 3rd down and about 3 yards to go. This is going to be a really important one for the Warriors, which they're going to want to convert into some points here. The ball is snapped. It's back to David Brown. He hands it off to his number 10 again. And is it going to be enough? We're going to wait on the officials. They're walking in. And I'm not sure if that's going to be enough for a first down. He's looking back at the marker. He's looking strong. He's still not decided. He's still making his mind up. He's having another look. And this is looking like 4th down, isn't it?
Yeah, not many yards made there at all. The Sabers read it. They read the play. We're just waiting on the officials here to see whether they get it.
And it's going to be a first down. They've really not very clear with the signals there, the officials. Even the man with the markers was a bit confused as to what's going on here.
Yeah, they've just done enough there. Very much eked the first day now. And the Sabers have felt perhaps a bit hard done to there. Managed to get the block in, but it wasn't enough to get the first down out. And the Warriors will have another 4 goes at getting that Sheffield into that uni goal line.
Yeah, so it's 1st and goal now. Hallam snapped the ball. It's another fake pass, but it stays on the ground again. It's that same route again and again. Just a short little run, just right from the running back. And it's working, but not as well as they would have wanted to, is it?
No, it's a couple of yards at a time, and it does add up. It does add up. However, you don't get that many chances in American football. You only get probably 3, maybe 4 in this position. And as long as the Sabers keep reading that, and as long as they can limit it to 2 yards of carry, they'll look to stall this drive. Yeah, maybe the Warriors might mix it up here, mix up with something different, but they look to be setting up in that similar formation again. Yeah,
so it's Warriors 2nd and goal here in the 3rd quarter of Sheffield Varsity 2017, live on Forge Radio and Forge TV. And the ball is snapped. It's back to David Brown. He's kept the ball this time, and he's going to run all the way out left, and he's going to get him himself. And David Brown runs it in for a touchdown, and the Warriors once again take the lead.
Yeah, fantastic quarterback play. Looks up, fakes the hand off to the running back. Looks up again to find a pass. Nothing on for him. Takes the ball. Great athleticism. Gets past 1 defender, 2 defenders, straight into the goal line, into the end zone, and a great celebration as well. And it means a lot to them, that Hallam. They've had that's a long drive. David Brown's led down the field, and how fitting that he finishes it off for him.
Yeah, he's clearly delighted. He's hooping and he's hollering and he's celebrating with his teammates, and he's done well there to finish that. The point after touchdown is good. No, it is not. It looked to be good. Definitely had the height and the legs. Kind of hard to tell with the short posts here. But that looks to have been a missed point after touchdown. So the score, the officials are just kind of reconvening in the middle. I don't know if they're maybe disagreeing with the line judges. It was very clearly a missed field goal signal given.
Yeah, indeed. They've not been the clearest for us today, but they're trying to get it right, and that's what we want. We want them to make the correct decision. So they're just having a chat, talking to the Sabers, it looks like.
No one's moving away from the goal line here, which is slightly confusing. We're just going to... so there is a flag on the play. I've only just seen it now, hence the stoppage. So it's a flag on the play against the Sabers, and it will be a retried point. So yeah, so a flag on the play there, hence our confusion. We just couldn't see it in the blinding sunlight here. It's kind of diminishing a little bit, but it's still very much getting in the eyes of us and the players. The point after touchdown is converted again, and this time it is good.
Yeah, straight over, split the posts, good kick, and the Warriors will extend their lead. They've very much started the brighter of the two sides, but they've had the ball for the whole quarter so far, and hopefully the Sabers here can build a drive of their own and make this game more interesting for us again, getting back inside into the contest.
Yeah, so that, as you say, that time of possession that they've managed to accrue in this third quarter is going to be really important. If you can't let the other team on the ball, they can't score. And Warriors have done very well with that in the third quarter. They lead 21 points to 14 now. It's been a fantastic game throughout. A bit slower on point scoring in the second, but we've had all the points in the first and third, haven't we?
We have. It's been a fascinating contest. The Warriors have led a huge drive, lots and lots of plays, lots of first downs, and the defensive coordinator may be a bit disappointed that his team have given up so many first downs there. A couple of times they had the Warriors on the ropes, and they just couldn't force them out. They just kept sacrificing those first downs, and that's going to be quite detrimental to your hopes of winning the Steel Bowl if you keep giving up those first downs over and over again.
Yeah, there were a lot of really short plays where Warriors managed to just get those extra yard or those extra few inches to turn what would be a tricky third and short into a first, and they did that throughout the drive, and that's what's led to that touchdown. But they're going to get us back underway here with a 21 points to 14 lead, and Hallam get the ball up in the air. It's a really good kickoff. It's gone very, very high. Sabers are underneath it. They go with that show and go again. This time it's number 19 that will take the ball. He's skipped past 2, skipped past 3, but now he's going to get caught up here on the 15-yard line. Not a bad return. It was a very good kickoff, basically pinning the Sabers down onto their own goal line. So to get 15 yards is a good start.
Yeah, it takes pressure off Brenner shutting the QB a bit. He's got a little bit of space behind him, so he doesn't have to worry about giving up a safety. And the end of the third quarter there, Jamie.
Yeah, it's
interesting.
It's gone again. It's flown by this time, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's flown by again. Dominated by the Warriors, really. A fantastic drive all the way down the field, led by David Brown, and he runs in for his own touchdown. And they've taken the lead here. They look in the ascendancy, but the Sabers were looking to bounce back quickly.
Yeah, it's hard to judge the Sabers really in that third quarter, isn't it? Because we didn't really see much game clock of theirs. It was a couple of 3 and outs and not really a lot to show for it, but they're definitely still in this game, aren't they?
Indeed. The offense will be hoping to take the field and need a long drive and hopefully get themselves back in the game.
So that's all from me, Jamie and Josh, my co-commentator, and we're going to pass you over to the final quarter of commentary. The score, Warriors 21, Sabers 14. It's going to be a fantastic final quarter.
Cheers, boys. Thank you very much. Jacob Broge and Pete Hennessy back on the commentary for the fourth quarter here today at Goodwin.
Yeah, Uni find themselves 21-14 down now after that rushing touchdown by David Brown. And they have the ball, though, deep into their own territory. Snap is taken, and it's another run. He picks up 1 or 2 yards, and that brings up second down.
Hallam defence is really picking up this run game quite quickly, aren't they? I think it's become maybe a bit too obvious of what they're trying to do here.
Yeah, I think predictable is the word that springs to mind. I mean, the coaches obviously know what they're doing. They've obviously got a plan. But, since the first quarter, Uni's offense just hasn't got going whatsoever. Hasn't even looked like scoring, been close to look like scoring. So they need to pick something up. And you'd think that would come through variation in the passing and the running game. But I suppose we'll have to wait and see. They've got a long way to go in this drive anyway.
Fourth quarter here, scores 21-14. So only a score away.
And that was designed to be a screenplay, but the pass is short, and number 87 can't quite bring that in. So that brings up third down.
It's a bit jumbled, isn't it? There's sort of everyone understands what they need to do, but the precision and performing what needs to be done is not quite there.
I think looking back, a very key moment in the game was Wedge going off in the start of the second quarter.
Yeah.
Since then, they haven't got anything going offensively, and I know that the quarterback now had to be converted from a wide receiver, so it's not his natural position by any means, and I think maybe that is showing at this moment in time as.
Handout just goes to the right and is brought down yet again.
That's number 24.
Steve Burgess again. He's taken a lot of snaps today, Steve. He's got a lot of handoffs from now the makeshift quarterback, as you were just talking about. In terms of his physique, he's interesting because he's quite a short guy, but physically quite strong and broad.
Very
isn't he?
built in stature. A Devon Sproles, if you will.
Yeah.
No, yeah, he is. He's one of the most committed members in the gym, from the sounds of it.
Yeah.
And he what he lacks in height, he more than makes up for in build, Jay. And that's a very high snap to number 19,
but
who
the punt's
kicks
up.
It's a very
it's
high
a good punt. 81 is waiting.
Very good tackle there.
And he's
number
brought
85.
Down. Excellent pursuit by Simon Arnold, 85. 81 waiting, just the single player in the backfield compared to the two normally that Sheffield have adopted throughout the game with Mark Price and Rowan.
So that was Mark Foster trying to return that kick, but he got absolutely nowhere. He got smothered before he could bring it back for any yard. So it's on Hallam's around the 22, 23 yard line. They'll be happy to run down the clock, I presume, Jay, unless they go for another score, try and make it a 2-possession game.
Yeah. It's an interesting way how they play this out, because obviously the change of quarterback, which came in just at the end of the second quarter, David Brown, who had been initially their punter through the majority of the game, and his arm powers really come into play here as he just drops back and dumps it off.
That's a good screen.
Good pursuit by Charlie Taylor.
Number 30 there, Anthony Slingsby with the reception. Now, Jay, one thing I have noticed is that David Brown has taken off the orange sweatbands, and since then he has rushed for a touchdown.
Yeah, so maybe.
Do you think there's any correlation in this?
Well, yeah.
Maybe that's what was holding him back.
I think we've identified who it is now, and now he doesn't need those orange armbands quite so much. So as he's just stood in the shotgun, calling the plays here, and waiting for the snap, which he receives, and the handoff, which is mopped up quite quickly from the defensive line.
Yeah, he really did get nowhere there, but that brings up third down, and it'll be interesting to see whether they try and run and punch this through, or whether they go for. They've been quite successful with the passing game, more so in this second half. And number 7 here on the sideline, Ewan Chilsholm, is calling the plays for David Brown, and he's under center again. Again, he's in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers. And a running back just stood behind him. The ball is snapped.
He drops
It is
back.
a pass.
Good block, and it goes deep.
Good catch by number 11. And that is Ronald Thomas, excuse me, on the reception. Jumping, he's a big boy, but he really jumped very high there.
He's been targeted quite a lot by both David Brown and Ewan before at quarterback. He's a big guy, obviously a big, strong guy that they like to aim their passes at. And like you say, he's got up really well there with an accurate pass.
But for a wide receiver who's that tall, you don't need to put it right in the money.
Exactly.
You can let him go up and get it, and that's exactly what happened there.
And that moves the chains for Hallam, which is what they needed on that big third down.
Yes. So David Brown again waiting for the snap. He gets it. It's another pass. It's deep. Down the sideline. 84. Oh, and it's just over number 84. And that was Barney Kirk there, who'd got a bit of separation.
Yeah, he'd made some room between him and his man in coverage. And the throw was on point. I don't think there was really necessarily anything wrong with the throw, but maybe just not enough speed or quickness just to get onto the end to it. So yeah, disappointing play for Hallam, but good signs for them.
David Brown is really enjoying this drive. He's had a lot of success in the air, and I think he's feeling very confident. And I wouldn't be surprised to see another couple of passing plays, unless they want to switch it up and put it to number 11 in the backfield. So the snap is good, and it is another passing play, and it's drilled to the sideline. 84, who makes the catch. So that's Barney Kirk again. And he's been targeted a lot today.
Yeah, definitely. Last couple of plays, he's been brought into the game. It's just he's just run that pass there that he's just come back on, and it's just fooled the coverage of the cornerback who's tackled him well. To be fair, and I think that's something that maybe the Uni might come away from this game discussing, especially from that first quarter and that 70-yard touchdown from number 11.
Yes.
How many tackles was missed down that left-hand sideline? I'm sure our co-commentators commented on that when it happened live. So yeah, it's something they might need to go away and assess for next season.
So Hallam called a timeout now. I hope you couldn't hear it, but I don't think that the coach had some choice words there for the quarterback. I don't think he was quite ready for the play. So that's their first time out of the half, if I'm correct. The Sabers still have 3 left. If I was in the Sabers defense, I'd be very happy for this timeout, because the longer the drive, especially in such nice weather, the longer the drive, the more fatigued the defense are going to be. And if the Hallam offense keep moving the chains such as this, then tiredness has got to play a factor, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that timeout was something they wanted to call at this current moment. Like you say, there's a couple of things that are brought into the fact it gives the defence a little bit more time to build up on that fatigue that might have come, like you say, in this really nice weather here at Goodwin. But also the momentum of the offence. You know, they've had a couple of nice passes, clean passes, which have got to hands, moved the chains, and they're starting to push up the field here, and they're just probably taking this snap around the halfway line, would you say? Just sort of.
I'd say just past midfield. Yeah. There's about 20 yards to go to the Uni end zone, and David Brown is really enjoying himself under centre now, and he takes a snap, and it's a handoff to the running back who runs out to the sideline. That's number 10. He gains about 5 yards, and that's a very good run for number 10. And that again moves the chains, as you say, Jay. You know, all these yards they're adding up.
Yeah, they've got a position now where David Brown has actually sort of really helped them in a sense that with his arm power and his throwing ability, you know, you've seen two passing plays which have gone for quite big pickups, and it's easy to. You know, the defence have got to keep guessing then. So it's easy to just give the handoff to the running back and he picks up some easy yards.
Yeah, Keith Capiche there with about 5 yards.
Capiche.
And a great name.
Very good name.
So
I wouldn't mind saying that one again.
Let's hope he gets the ball, Jay. Let's hope he gets the ball again. Let's hope he goes in for a touchdown. And no, the defence here, they've got to just take a deep breath. They've got to realise that, you know, I'm going to stop there because there's a penalty.
Yeah, I think what we hadn't noticed before was there was a flag on the play. The ref has just given a holding penalty on the offence, so that's a 10-yard penalty, which will put Hallam back 10 yards from where their initial snap came from. So something
huge
there. Yeah, that's, you know, that gives them again a momentum going the opposite way. So we'll see here as the snap is then taken again by David Brown, and the handoff. It's a fake, and it's come to number 30, who's eventually brought down, probably back around where that previous snap was. So I think they've almost picked up the 10 yards there from the penalty, which is something that they're going to be very happy with.
So number 30, Anthony Slingsby, with the reception, and Hallam are calling plays. Now there's about 5 minutes left in the game, Jay, and this is really where it gets very tense, and every play starts mattering a whole lot.
I think the less the players know about how long's left in the game, the better for themselves, that, you know, they don't build things up in their head or, you know, lose focus of what they need to do. You know, and I think we need to stress the fact that it's only a one-score game, so Sheffield by no means out of this, so Uni are no means out of this, but Hallam with the ball and in a set of offence which is going well at the moment.
That's Keith Capiche again up the sideline, gaining a good 6 or 7 yards there. And does that bring up first down? Well, David Brown is staying out on the field. And this really isn't good for Uni defence. They need a stop. They need a fumble or an interception. They need something to swing this game, because right now Hallam are in control and they get to call the plays and eat up the time, essentially.
Yeah, it's something that they could really do with Uni right now, is some form of defensive touchdown or any turnover that they can force would really be crucial to this sort of late stage in the fourth quarter. But like I say, Hallam with the ball at this current moment.
Oh, and number 7's got it, and he's going to throw it on the reverse, and it's back to David Brown, who makes the reception. The quarterback there turned receiver.
It's something.
Trickery.
It's something we'll see a lot in college football in America and also here in universities. There's a lot of trickery, a lot of fakes, a lot of different plays to just kind of keep the defense guessing, and that's obviously something that Hallam have been working on previously to this game.
The Hallam bench enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's something that they've been looking forward to do. And I almost commented on the fact that number 7, who was Ewan Chilsholm,
yeah, the other quarterback,
the quarterback who started the game for Hallam, had started to make his way onto the pitch and lined up as a wide receiver. And just to run you through that again, the quarterback's taken the snap and he's wrapped round and taken the ball off him, and David Brown has found himself in a bit of space downfield and they've completed the pass.
But David Brown is back to his quarterback duties now. He gives it off to Keith Capiche, who's down the sideline, and he's in for the touchdown for Hallam. Keith Capiche with a run down the left-hand side of the field, and it is a 2-possession ball game.
I mean, the defense, I think, have probably got themselves to blame there. They've worked well. Obviously, Hallam had been picking up some good yardage there. But the run to the left-hand side compared to the right, and now they find themselves with comfortable distance now for not long left in the game. So Sabers have really got some work to do if they're going to get anything near the Hallam score.
We're waiting now for the kick. High snap. Kick is blocked. It's blocked by Uni. So it was the high snap there that the kicker never really had a chance to get it off. So it's 6 points added instead of 7, and that makes the score, if I'm correct, 27-14.
Correct.
Well,
excellent maths.
Thank you. So there's a lot to do for Uni now.
Yeah, I mean, the return team have been strong today. Rowan Huggins has already taken one in, so that's something that they really probably need to look for from this kickoff. I'd say, some good field position has to come from this return. I feel
they need a spark, and Rowan is the man to do that. He's proved that today, and this, I know this crowd would go absolutely wild if we saw another kickoff return. But as we've seen before, Hallam are often reluctant to give it to him. I think they know that he is dangerous from kickoffs. So number 86 is lining up to take the kick. That's Thomas Martin. He checks at the left and the right hand side already. He runs up, and it's a high kick, and it does go to number 87 for Uni.
Mark Price, and he sticks with the ball, but he is brought down. Probably around the Uni sort of 20-yard mark. So yeah, it's not what they would have wanted from that kick. Definitely would have wanted a bit more yardage, possibly bringing the ball up to the halfway line. But it's something they can work with.
One thing I would say, Jay, is that you'd hope or expect that maybe it won't be such a run-heavy offense now, and maybe they will take 1 or 2 chances down the field.
With the time remaining on the clock, there's the run game keeps the clock running. So they're maybe looking for passing plays out wide to get out of bounds, stop the clock. But as you see,
he's sacked there. He is sacked by number 17 for Hallam. That is a huge play, and that is Albert Nagashima Franchi.
There's some real good names out here today.
And that is his first big play of the game, and that really is huge for Hallam.
What a time to bring it as well.
He broke free, and the quarterback never really had a chance to get it off, and he has lost a lot of yards on that play.
No, so like I say, that I think what they had worked out, and we commented on, is the ball needed to get up in the air and the pass needs to be made. Like you say, they need big yard plays now. They need to get out of bounds. They need to stop the clock. There's timeouts still in use for Uni that might be crucial.
They have all 3, I believe.
Yeah, I believe they do. Yeah. So again, it's something.
And that throw there's been a bit of a mix up there. I think Uni wants a penalty.
There was a couple of looks around towards the ref on a possible holding call, but it's interesting to see because that throw was nowhere near a target.
That's obviously a clear mix-up. The quarterback thought he was running a different route than he did, and luckily for Uni there wasn't someone on the defensive end there, because that could have been utterly disastrous.
Yeah, and I think we do need to bring back the fact of James Wedge going off in that second quarter has obviously been a really big blow. He was looking really strong, completing passes. And not to take anything away from the replacement quarterback, he's a wide receiver by nature, so it's obviously something that is very difficult to walk into. But it's we still got time, and the screen pass is given off, and there is room.
There is room for him on that far hand side, and he is. Oh, that's a very good tackle there. He is thrown down to the floor, and there's a flag on the play. There's a flag on the play. There's a Hallam player down. And that was that took place nowhere near where the ball was, so I'm not quite sure what's happened. I'm sure
there's a lot of men down, but
in.
Sheffield Uni player has just picked himself up off the field, number 71. But there's good positive play from Uni.
Yes.
A completed pass, and I think the thing to point out about is a simple pass. They're not trying to, do anything too expressive, but something with a screen pass, if it works out well and you've got blockers in front, there's big yards to be made, and that, that's something that they've obviously adopted and tried here.
So it's against Hallam. It's for a late hit, and is that 15 yards there?
I think for a late hit, I believe so. Yeah. So that's now moved the chains even further, and that's just silly from Hallam. Obviously,
there's a lot of passion, and it's a big game, and you need to not let your emotions get the better of you. And in that instance, it's really cost Hallam because Uni were backed up, but now they're near midfield, and I think you're right, Jay. Something like a screenplay could really work. You don't have to throw the ball deep every single time. You can really vary it up, and if you get one or two good blocks, then you can find that you can get some serious yards on the play.
Yeah, and I think that's something that worked well for Hallam with that first touchdown, with number 11 bringing it in that long run and pick up for a TD. So anyway, we bring back to Uniov, and they've just received the ball about the halfway line, and a handoff to Rowan, who whips round. He has room in front of him, and he does dart
He's
across.
done very well there. He's beat a couple of men.
It's a nice juke inside there with a tackler looming as he whipped round. Good pickups now from Uni, starting to get the momentum, get the flow going. Still, as the referee just indicated before, 2 timeouts for both sides.
Yes.
So those will be useful as the game gets later, and the 2-minute warning, which will come eventually in this final fourth quarter here at Goodwin.
Yes, they need a score. And it looks like they are, as you say, varying up their offense a lot more and taking more risks as number 16 drops back, and that's intended for number 19, but it wasn't anywhere near him, and number 72 is down on the play for Uni.
Now,
it's the right idea there.
The Hallam coaching and a lot of the players there are calling for an intentional grounding, which I think is pretty shocking, to be asked. Like, the route was there. There's a man over on this side of the field. It's an incomplete pass which has just not worked well. It's a similar thing we saw, when Uni were back on their sort of 10-yard line. It's just something that happens. But obviously, refs doing well. Not listening to what coaches or players are saying. I think obviously heated moments. It's the end of a game, Varsity point on the line, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in these final few moments.
It will. So Uni still on offense, needing something to happen for them late in the fourth quarter of this Varsity game. Number 16 takes a snap and fakes the handoff. No, it is a handoff. And he goes nowhere. And there's a little bit of chatter between the two teams. It's clear to see that this means a lot to them, Jay.
Yeah,
it's the biggest game of the year.
And I think after last year, it was such a close game. I think Warriors would have come away from that game probably hoping to have beaten more comprehensively. But it's definitely not the case then, or it's definitely not being the case today. Sides that have been different in terms of form in their respective divisions, but there's nothing to take away from the Sabers' performance today. I think they've come out really strong. The 14-all score at half-time would have been a position where they'd have been very happy. And I'm speaking to a few of the guys beforehand and just getting the vibe of what people were feeling. They were feeling really optimistic about today. But you say, there's time. You never know what happens in sport. And there was a lot of drama last year with the touchdown which was taken away for taunting last time, which would have won the game for Sabers. So that might be obviously something that they've got in the back of their minds, that they don't want to replicate an ending quite like that. They want to come out strong and finish in this fourth quarter.
Okay, so timeout was called by the Sabers, but they are back in the field now, and it's a very, very narrow formation from them as the ball is about to be snapped, and that's a penalty surely. They continue to play, but I expect there has been a flag in the play, and that may have been a false start, Jay.
Well, a couple of fingers were pointed there as Steve Burgess sort of made his way around the backfield in that Uni offense, and I think there was a little bit of confusion between everyone. It sort of played half-pace practice mode there, but it seems that it was a legitimate play, and they continue with the game, and it's now a.
Oh, so there is a penalty against the defence. It's for offside. but it's 4th down. So this is a huge 4th down with 1 minute remaining. I mean, Uni have got a lot to do. They need to get a 1st down. They need to score very, very quickly.
Well, this needs to be a moving of the chains now. They need to get a new set of downs and get this 1st down to have any real chance of getting anything from this game. But Steve Burgess has run down the middle,
and he has got the 1st down,
and he has picked it up, which is really, really crucial right now with only a minute remaining. Well, less now. So
Sabers take their final timeout as the clock would have kept running, and now they've got a 1st down. We expect a pass play. We expect that they need to score very, very, very quickly.
Yeah, something needs to be done. They need to do something different. It'll be interesting to see if Sabers have got anything up their sleeve, similar to what Hallam with their sort of trick play that they brought in on their last set of downs. So you know, I think something needs to be tried, or if they've got anything that they can pull out their sleeve to confuse this Hallam offense and Hallam defense. Sorry. You know, you go back to that first quarter and the first play where they score a touchdown. It's that idea of just being unpredictable and trying to find different ways of getting this defense uncomfortable. And I think that's something that they've not been able to do today. They've just really settled into that run-heavy offense, which Hallam have been able to sort of sort out and settle quite quickly. And Steve Burgess he's taken a lot of handoffs today, and he's done a lot of work on the ground, but has struggled to really get those big yardage games, which for me I feel that they would need to stay with if they want to keep. They need big yards if they're going to stick with this run-heavy offense.
I agree. So big down. He drops back to pass. It is a pass, and it's intercepted by Hallam, and that is essentially the ball game right there. It was intended, I believe, for number 87, and Hallam come up with the interception, and I expect they'll take a knee, Jay, and run down the clock.
It's got to be no timeouts remaining. It's essentially, like you say, I think it's essentially the end of the game. But it's a really disappointing end for Sabers. You know, it's not something they would have been happy about, and it's something that I think, you know, they can't really do anything about now. They just got to go out, continue the game, finish it off, and unfortunately walk away the losers today of this game and the Varsity point.
I think lots of people, rightly or wrongly, had quite not low expectations, but expected a comfortable Hallam victory. But I think with the crazy start to the game, 2 touchdowns in quick succession. After that, it has been disappointing.
Well, it's been
the Sabers offense,
yeah,
especially.
It's been anything but. Oh, we just see the Hallam timeout has just been called. Sorry, just bring back. It has been anything but that. You know, it's not been a comfortable victory. I think if you ask the Warriors players, they'd say differently. But you know, when you look and you watch as a neutral, as you're enjoying the game, it's not been a game that Hallam can walk away, you know, feeling confident of their performance. And Sabers really, you know, they're going to be gutted. You know, it's not what they wanted.
Of course.
And like you say, you know, there's a bit of optimism in the air here this afternoon. But it's something that they can go away from. It's a positive performance they can work off. And I think what's positive for them is they've started to get back some injured players, such as Charlie Taylor, who has had a good game today, made some crucial tackles, done some good work in that linebacking core, which has been really strong for Uni today. But yeah, it's an interesting one.
Yeah, I agree, Jay. I mean, one thing to take out the game is that we sincerely hope the quarterback Wedge is all right.
Yeah, that you know,
he looked in a lot of pain. I know he's had trouble with his knee before. I think it was his first game back after getting injured prior in the season. So, you know, I think from all of us here today, we sincerely hope that he's okay and that he is able to play again very, very soon.
Yeah, it's not something you want to see. Really, it's not something you want to see. And I think, you know, if you're going to put your finger on some sort of moment today, I think that probably would be it. That definitely sort of changed the momentum, especially for that Uni offense.
A lot of excitement from the Hallam bench here as there's a run through the middle. Obviously, they've just called a timeout, and I think they're tempted to call another one now. They have called a timeout now. I think they're having a bit of fun now.
Yeah,
Joe, at the end of
but
the
it's you know, obviously for them it's something that it's a win, you know, and that's something they're going to be really happy to walk away from. It's a bit of a shame for the finish the game like this. You know, there's no dignity in doing it. You know, you've just finished the game, walk off as winners. You know, but
calling timeouts with 1 minute remaining when it's a 2-possession game and you've already won is I think a lot of people would frown upon that.
Yeah,
they are doing it. They're having a bit of fun. You can't really blame them. Number 73 is there in the backfield, and I think he was the one that took the snap before, and he is the subject of all this excitement on the Hallam bench, just over to our left-hand side. So number 7 hands it off to number 73 again, who powers down the middle. And the Hallam players love that.
well, just adding to his stat sheet, I suppose.
Exactly. I think he's rushed for about 6-7 yards there. That's good. He'll be very happy with that.
Well, it's, you know, I suppose it's not something you don't see much of in. You do see much of in this sort of university level of American football. Is players playing multiple positions in a single game.
Kieran Rickaby there, coming off the field after rushing twice and making some decent yards. So I'm sure he'll be very happy. He gets hugs from his coach and his Hallam teammates. This may be his final year. He gets mobbed here on the sideline. And it's just getting the formalities out of the way now before Hallam can enjoy this varsity victory at Goodwin. And it is the end of the game.
And there it goes. End of the game is called, and Hallam take the varsity point for the second year that I've been here and spectated the American football. And it's a performance that they really Sabers should not be disappointed with. You know, they can't take anything away from this, and it's something that they really need to come back from next year. But anyway, that's me from Jacob Broadbridge, and thank you, Peter Hennessy.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed our commentary today on Forge TV and Forge Radio Extra here at Goodwin, and we'll pass you back over to the guys in the studio.
Thanks, guys. So Hallam have taken the Steel Ball this year, 27-14. Guys, what do you think of that match?
No, it was good from end to end. I mean, second half it looks like it's got a bit of away from us. It's a bit of a shame because of the great start to the game, but you can hear the celebrations behind us and probably see it in the camera. Hallam are celebrating, and congratulations to them.
It was really frustrating second half, and we said at half time that it depended how our offence played and how their defence played. Our offence sort of never really got going in that second half, and that was disappointing. And after the hot start that we made, of course, in the first quarter, it was sad that we couldn't carry that on, at least in one of the other quarters in the second half.
Yeah, I think the really pivotal thing to focus on for this entire game, and it kind of turns on a knife edge, James Wedge's injury. It kind of seemed to turn, the momentum seemed to go sharply in Hallam's favour. There was just a kind of a surge of confidence, a surge of momentum, and it kind of just turned them, and it just seemed to turn the entire game upside down. It's a bit of a shame because Uniov started exceptionally well, but we kept in it. I mean, 13 points difference against a very, very good team is nothing to be ashamed of.
So talk us through the 2 rushing touchdowns for Hallam. Where it went well for Hallam on those touchdowns, and how it kind of impacted Uniov going forward in the second half.
Yeah, it's just kind of these rushing touchdowns. I think it was just the idea of grinding, and we've mentioned it in all kind of phases whenever we've been talking, the idea of the O-line, D-line battle. And it just seems like Hallam just won that battle, whether it's defense or offensively. They've just won it, and they've just kind of persevered and grinded Uniov down, and it's just tired them out, I think. And this kind of really showed. Kind of second half, they kind of got the momentum, they got rolling forward, and they just had the kind of momentum to keep going, keep driving, and they just got these points on the board. It's a bit of a shame, but Uniov put up the best fight.
It's like we talk about in every sport, they won the key moments, and Hallam, there was a couple of really big plays, and that's led to their touchdowns in the third quarter there, which have won them the game. If on a different day, if the defensive line for the Union of Sheffield wins that battle, it's a completely different game. But in that moment, Hallam won it, and they probably just about deserved to take the victory today.
Any key plays, you guys, today in the game? Any key plays that really caught your eye?
I mean, especially in the first quarter, I think there are a lot of things to go off. You've got Rowan Huggins' big play, obviously, and kind of the mainly focus around there. But I think the difference was the interception right at the end with the Uniov. Unfortunately, Bruno Schaffen, the QB, throwing a pick. But, I mean, you've got other big plays. I think Ronell Thomas's catch right down at the far end, which is right on the sideline, where it's just got his feet in bounds. I think that was a really pivotal kind of moment, swinging the kind of momentum sharply in Hallam's favour, and it kind of changed the entire aspect of the game. I think Union were always out of it at that point.
And that change in QB that we talked about half-time from Hallam also worked to their favour, and you saw the passing game improve slightly, but also by running that passing play well, it means you can get these runs on play action, things like that. So they were able to like sort of mix up the defence and confuse the University of Sheffield a bit, really.
We saw a couple of trick plays by the Sheffield Hallam. How did they impact the game, and is it hard to defend them as a defender yourself? Is it hard to defend them?
I think it's very hard to defend, but it also shows a little bit of disrespect from Hallam. Hallam know they're confident, they know they're going to carry it forward, and it kind of just, it's a little bit of a shame to see. But it was a hard-fought game and just a really big pivotal moment, and just a lot of things didn't go in Union's favour today, but it was a really, really hard-fought game.
Well, just to update you, we did get a point apiece in the triathlon, so Varsity now stands at 21-10 after that victory by Hallam. You looking forward to the rest of Varsity, guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's been fantastic so far. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's going to be very busy. Obviously, tomorrow we're at EIS and you can catch all the coverage on fortunate.com/varsity, which I've been told contractually I'm obliged to say. So, yeah, make sure you're with us for that. EIS, plenty of points and offer all the netball, the basketball, the futsal. So there's really interesting sports on and games that can go either way as well. So it'll be a really pivotal day tomorrow.
Ice hockey as well on Wednesday, is it?
Wednesday night, and then obviously you've got all the things. We'll be back here on Wednesday on radio at least. Plenty of sports again. You've got ultimate frisbee and all sorts of things going on, lacrosse. So lots of points still to play for, but I'd rather be in the position that we're in than Hallam are in. We're 11 points ahead still, and that's pretty good to go into the second half of the week.
I think one thing we can guarantee on every single other varsity event is great crowds and everything. The crowd's been great today, haven't they?
Yeah, it's been a fantastic crowd. I mean, you can hear the celebrations going on right now as we look behind us, kind of celebrating, cheering on the crowd, everything. It's been fantastic going forward, and it's been a fantastic atmosphere today.
Well, we actually have an interview with one of the Uni of players now. I'll pass it over to Adam Richmond. Thank you very much, Adam. That was Charlie Taylor from the University of Sheffield Sabers. Guys, any highlights from today? What was your biggest highlights from the game?
I think the 2 touchdowns for us by Rowan Huggins were brilliant, and the second one especially was really good. I think that will stand out in our memories, at least in that manic first quarter where it seemed like things were going our way and the momentum, as we talked about, was going our way. So yeah, that was definitely the highlight for me, I think.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that kind of sticks out in my mind is, first off, Mark Price's touchdown right at the start. It was a lovely play, lovely throw by James Wedge. But then the thing that's kind of, I think, changed the entire game was James Wedge's injury. And that'll probably stand up with me when looking back at this game kind of next year and kind of going, what was the difference between the two teams? I think James Wedge going down really made a kind of pivotal thing. The team obviously carried on and did their best, but that kind of changed the whole game.
How kind of demoralising is it when you see your the most important position arguably go down and the replacement has to come in? How do you think Bruno did as well? So there's kind of 2 questions for you there.
Yeah, I think it's undeniably it's important. You've got a very important player that goes down, a team leader, a team figure, somebody that everyone looks to and respects, going down and having to be helped off the field. It's never good. You never want to see one of your friends in kind of that position. But Bruno, he's been in this position before. He came in and he did his best. I mean, one thing didn't go exactly what he wanted to, but he made some lovely throws. He handed the ball off well. He controlled that offense to the best of his ability, and I think he did himself proud.
Especially when we've been, like, Wedge has been missing all season from that team as well. To have him back would have been, it'd have been a big boost in the build-up to the University of Sheffield. They'd have thought that this was their big chance into it, because in big games you need your big players, and to see him come back from injury and then go off injured again sort of will be demoralising, because you've been building up all week thinking he's going to be there, he's going to come back in and he's going to do things for us, and you'd seen that in the first quarter as well. He had done things.
But I think it's also sad for himself, because he's fought all the way back to get to Varsity, and sadly he's gone down after leading his team very well.
Look into the future. How can this what will this Uniov team accomplish next season, and what do they need to do to accomplish it?
I think initially they've got a lot of good players. I mean, we've mentioned Mark Price already. They've got a lot of other
rookies.
Yeah, a lot of young players. James Wedge is staying around. Bruno will be here next year. Reece Waller on defence. Alex Garcia. Certain keystones will be around for next year. They're losing some big players. Rowan is unfortunately graduating, but that's expected. That's what you've got to deal with at university level. They've got the team. They've got the calibre of players to compete in the division they are. 1-7 isn't a true reflection of how the team should be. It's not a true reflection of the team itself, and I don't think that they've performed, or we've performed, to the best of the ability this year. The team has definitely got potential. It's just whether they harness that and are able to use it to the best of their ability.
I think next year you'll get the best of both worlds, because you'll have quite a lot of the players who've been injured this season coming back into the team, but you'll also have those rookies who we've seen being used this season as well, coming becoming a year more stronger, more knowledgeable about the team, how the team plays. So you're going to have that sort of fusion of the new players who stuck around and got game experience, but that perhaps they wouldn't have done at this stage in their university career, and the players also coming back who can really add to this team as well.
You're looking at some young players like Danny Hare, Matt Jenkins, Reece Britt, players that we haven't mentioned today quite yet. They're kind of just going to be coming along and developing and hopefully getting better. Some of them will be playing kind of a senior level and going maybe outside to Sheffield Giants, as we talked about earlier, and that will develop their game even further.
On the flip side, where do you think this Hallam team can go? Do you think they can continue the form into next season, or do you think they might crash and burn?
I think it's hard. We're not obviously from Hallam, so we don't know which players are necessarily graduating or not, but it's always been a strong competitor, and regardless, they're always able to bounce back when they lose people to graduation, which is inevitable at a university level. They're always able to bounce back, and inevitably they will be a strong team next year.
Yeah, they've classically had a strong team. There's nothing to suggest that won't change. I'm still a bit surprised at their performance today. Now, I think it might still be, like we said, a hangover from last week, but it's not the performance I don't think that the coach would have expected. Yes, they've got the win, but they weren't as dominant as they have been throughout the season, especially against the University of Sheffield, where they won 75-12 6 weeks ago. To come from there to this position shows perhaps a regression in their form, but also an improvement in the University of Sheffield form as well.
I was just about to say, maybe some credit needs to go to University of Sheffield, who put definitely on a fight today and ran Hallam down and put in a good showing.
Yeah. So it wasn't as kind of a runaway victory as we would have thought. Could the early touchdown have a kind of a bearing on that? So if we go back to the first play.
Yeah, I think so, because I think it sort of gave the University of Sheffield momentum, and it gave them that belief as well that perhaps, like after you've lost 75-12, as we keep on mentioning, you've got to have something to spark your game, and a touchdown right at the start really helps that, and it got the belief up, and you can see like their shoulders rise as they score, and they like stand up a bit stronger, and they feel like they're going to do it. It was impressive that they could stay at 14-14 for so long. And it's not like they ran away, especially in the second half. Like I expected Hallam to really run away with the game, but they weren't able to. And that's testament to the defensive line as well, keeping down a really strong offense. I think they've scored about 250 points this season, Hallam. So it's a real impressive feat to be able to keep them down to as low as 27.
Yeah, they're a very strong team. They're very high caliber players, and a lot of players there. And it's a credit to them. But also, congratulations to Hallam. I think it's got to be stated. They've played fantastically, and they're probably the better team on the outset.
Well, we've got an interview coming up shortly, but any other kind of moments in the game where you thought that Uniov could have taken the kind of the lead and the momentum?
I think initially straight after half-time, you've got that moment where kind of James Wedge has gone down, you've got that pivotal moment to kind of regather your steps, and that half-time was kind of quite big. And it was maybe quite interesting to see where we were kind of still having a chat to a coach and Hallam were warming up. Maybe we weren't still prepared to go into the second half.
Well, we've got another interview prepared for you. We'll pass it back to Adam Richmond.
Osama's going to have an interview.
So, thank you. That was the Hallam wide receiver there. Had a great game, didn't he?
Yeah, no, had a fantastic game, and it was a fantastic kind of tribute to
It's
Hallam.
got a good mouth on him as well.
Great interview.
No, but as you said, I mean, Hallam have dominated this season, and it's credit where credit's due. They've had a fantastic year. Hopefully, they'll be able to come back and put up a good fight. It'll be interesting to see what happens next year.
So, going back to the wider Varsity, do you think Uniov can retain the title?
I think they can. They're in a much stronger position even at this point than we were last year. So plenty of points already on the board, plenty of points still to play for. The big games, the big days sort of tomorrow at EIS and then finals day Wednesday sort of here and across Sheffield. Ponds Forge have got a lot of stuff as well. So they're going to be the two crucial days really. Tuesday, of course, we've got the hockey as well. So there's plenty of stuff still to come, plenty of points to be won and lost. So I wouldn't like to make a prediction, but they're in a good position at the moment to retain that title for a 5th year.
Yeah, whenever you're in front, it's always nice to be out there. Let's just hope we can maintain the lead, but it's a good big 3 days, and we'll see. Come Wednesday afternoon at ice hockey, let's hope that we're cheering
so
on.
EIS tomorrow with the volleyball, the futsal and stuff like that. We've got ice hockey all live on Forge. You guys, what's your event you're looking forward to?
I love the ice hockey, but the ones to watch, I think the 2 ones that I really like to watch that perhaps you might have seen, futsal, which is tomorrow night. I think it's a 9 o'clock kickoff. That'll be live on Forge TV and forge.com/Varsity. That's a really good game to watch, and it's quick paced. It's sort of one of those games. I'm sort of building this Varsity whenever I talk about it. It's games that can go either way, and they're a really interesting game to watch. That, and also the other one that's interesting is the canoe polo, which perhaps people won't see. That's down at Ponds Forge. The games only last about 15 minutes, and 2 points can go really quickly in that. So they're a couple to look out for, and a couple that you might not have seen before as well.
Yeah, I think ice hockey is obviously the standout one. That kind of the finale right down at Sheffield Arena where it's split 50-50 with black and gold and then maroon and white on the other side. Obviously that one's the big one that everyone builds up to.
Yeah.
But there are lots of little events in between that could decide it and could throw us either way.
Where do you think Uniov can pick up points in the remaining Varsity fixtures?
I think anywhere. I think it's potentially kind of a coin. It's a coin that can go either way, and I think it just depends who turns up on the day and who really turns up. I mean, Hallam before this game were really favoured, but I mean, Uniov showed that they can put points up, they can pressure Hallam as much, and I think anything can happen really.
Yeah, it's hard to predict, and as we always say, you don't play sport on paper, you play it on the pitch, and sort of that's proved itself today. We looked through all the stats, we spooled through them, we looked at the scores from the rest of the season. You could only ever really pick one winner for this, and you thought Hallam were going to win by quite a large margin when you looked at all the stats and you thought about it. But when it comes to Varsity, it's a completely different atmosphere, and it changes the whole thing, and you saw that today, and you'll see it throughout the rest of the week.
Yeah, people definitely step up and raise their level just because it's Varsity. They want to represent their team, they want to fight for it, they want to fight for it, the honour of it as well. It's a real big honour to go to your friends and say, I won Varsity, I won this, I was able to beat Hallam. And so it's just, hopefully, Uniov will continue the great kind of run so far and win out.
So to bring it back to this event, Max, after a loss like this, what goes through your head? How would you kind of bounce back from it?
It's horrible, and I've been in the same position that the guys are in right now, and I felt their emotion right on the sideline, right here whilst I was watching it. It's painful, and it's not nice, and tonight they'll be hurting. It's not something you want to do. You don't really want to face anyone else. To say you lost at Varsity, the biggest event of the year, to all your friends, isn't exactly what you want to kind of say, and you want to be proud and everything. But this is a good group of lads. They'll stick together, and they'll bounce back from this. There's definitely next year.
How can they bounce, like mentally, how can you bounce back from this? How do you kind of motivate yourself to go again?
It's just the same thing. Anyone who's played sports knows that if you are down and out after one loss, I mean, what's the point? You're never going to win everything. Everyone's got to be able to cope with defeat, and just time and time again, you've just got to dust yourself off and realise that you've got to train, work hard, and you know that if you put in that work, put in that drive, put in that determination, and you through blood, sweat and tears, you're going to hopefully come out next year and maybe smash Varsity.
It's about channeling that energy as well, isn't it? That negative energy that you've got over the last year and this year. You'll see that, I think, next year. And I think you saw a bit of that today as well when you think back to last year's game, quite controversial. I think you saw today a reaction from that we perhaps weren't expecting.
Yeah, so I mean, Aidan, I asked Max this, but how would you specifically get over this loss? If you were to play,
I don't know. That would involve me playing sport, which is highly unlikely. I would say.
How would you kind of pick yourself up?
I don't know. I honestly don't know, because this is what's sort of more impressive to me about sportsmen. There's all the physical side, obviously, but the mental side of being able to take a defeat like this is really tough, and it's something that I think I'd struggle, and quite a lot of people would struggle with as well. And it's something, if you're not a sports person, you never really understand. Really, you can't understand just how much on the line these things are. I get the privilege of just watching it and enjoying them, playing it.
So thank you very much for watching our coverage of the 2017 Steel Bowl. I've been Josh Taylor. I've had Aidan and Max beside me. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great Varsity. I thought it was another interview.